Tu corazón lo llene. Con la ayuda del Creador todo se puede.
Sí se puede, claro que se puede. Sé fuerte y lo lograrás. Con fe las cosas suceden, no te me quedes atrás. Comentarios negativos, no le prestes oído y sin parar sigue hacia adelante. Es que velas y perseveras, llegará en cualquier instante. Dilo conmigo,
Sí se puede,
no te quites.
sí se puede,
Vamos pa' encima,
sí se puede,
claro que sí.
sí se puede,
Dilo conmigo,
sí se puede,
no te quites.
sí se puede,
Vamos pa' encima,
sí se puede,
claro que sí.
Sí se puede, sí se puede. Deja que lo malo al viento se lo lleve. Que el amor de Dios tu corazón lo llene. Con la ayuda del Creador todo se puede. Sí se puede, sí se puede. Deja que lo malo al viento se lo lleve. Que el amor de Dios tu corazón lo llene. Con la ayuda del Creador todo se puede.
En la vida siempre va a haber gente que te va a decir que no se puede. Pero ¿sabes qué? Escucha, claro que se puede. Ya, Manny Montes, Alex Zurdo, Línea de Fuego, Chuelo, Caldetronic y los legendarios.
Escuché en una ocasión de alguien que me decía que si pensaba al intentarlo yo jamás lo lograría. Que soñar era de ricos y para qué conexiones tiene, pero yo sé que se puede. Yo miré hacia el futuro y el pasado lo borré. Y a los que me hicieron daño también los perdoné. Hay un sueño por cumplir y jamás me detendré, porque yo sé que se puede. Sí se puede, sí se puede. Deja que lo malo al viento se lo lleve. Que el amor de Dios tu corazón lo llene. Con la ayuda del Creador todo se puede. Sí se puede, sí se puede. Deja que lo malo al viento se lo lleve. Que el amor de Dios tu corazón lo llene. Con la ayuda del Creador todo se puede.
Sí se puede, claro que se puede. Y el que diga lo contrario será mejor que se aleje. Cruzado de brazos, jamás tú te quedes. Créele al de arriba, trabaja y no te dejes frustrar. Dile adiós al desánimo y la vagancia. Esfuérzate con valentía y perseverancia. No hay nada imposible para aquel que cree. Y verás tu sueño realidad como yo lo logré. Las tormentas de la vida de seguro que vendrán. Para todo hay salida y un rayo de sol saldrá. Sé fuerte, no te me quites, fuerza del cielo tendrás. Canta conmigo y repite, si se puede, ya verás.
Sí se puede. Deja que lo malo al viento se lo lleve. Que el amor de Dios tu corazón lo lleve. Con la ayuda del Creador todo se puede. Sí se puede, sí se puede. Deja que lo malo al viento se lo lleve. Que el amor de Dios tu corazón lo llene. Con la ayuda del Creador todo se puede.
Sí se se puede, claro que se puede. Sé fuerte y lo lograrás. Con fe las cosas suceden, no te me quedes atrás. Comentarios negativos, no le prestes oído y sin parar sigue hacia adelante. Eso que velas y perseveras llegará en cualquier instante. Dilo conmigo,
Sí se puede,
no te quites.
sí se puede,
Vamos pa' encima,
sí se puede,
claro que sí.
sí se puede,
Dilo conmigo,
sí se puede,
no te quites.
sí se puede,
Vamos pa' encima,
sí se puede,
claro que sí.
Sí se puede, sí se puede. Deja que lo malo al viento se lo lleve. Que el amor de Dios tu corazón lo llene. Con la ayuda del Creador todo se puede. Sí se puede, sí se puede. Deja que lo malo al viento se lo lleve. Que el amor de Dios tu corazón lo llene. Con la ayuda del Creador todo se puede.
En la vida siempre va a haber gente que te va a decir que no se puede. Pero ¿sabes qué? Escucha, claro que se puede. Ya, Manny Montes, Alex Zurdo, Línea de Fuego, Chuelo, Caldetronic y los legendarios.
Buenas tardes a todos y bienvenidos. Bueno, vamos a empezar en 5 a 10 minutos. Vamos a esperar más personas. Bienvenidos a todos. Y bienvenidos a la sesión de repaso y práctica para el examen oral de español. ¿Cómo estamos? ¿Estamos bien? Muy bien, mi nombre es Ramonia Hamilton. Soy metodóloga nacional de español en Jamaica. I am the Spanish education officer or the education officer in charge of Spanish in Jamaica. Y bienvenidos a todos. Me gustaría dar la bienvenida a los estimados profesores, funcionarios de los ministerios de educación, all of our teachers, and if there are any other education officers here from Jamaica or the Caribbean in Jamaica or del Caribe. And of course, a ustedes, nuestros queridos estudiantes, las estrellas de hoy. And I know we have some students here from not just Jamaica, but we have some students here from the Caribbean as well. And so special welcome, bienvenidos. I am wondering if our education officer, senior education officer of foreign languages is here. Marta Corbett-Bo, usted está aquí, yo no sé. All right, well, she will be joining us a little bit later. And students, escuchen muy bien. I know, yo sé que todos los estudiantes que están aquí se van a descartar por sus habilidades, sus personalidades, su gran rendimiento. I know that all of you are going to just stand out. You're going to stand out because of your abilities. You're going to stand out in the exam because of your personalities, your spirit, your overall performance. not only in the Spanish oral exam or the Spanish exams themselves, but just your exams overall. Y ya estamos muy orgullosos de ustedes. We are already very proud of you. Muy bien. Una gran bienvenida también a todos que han colaborado con nosotros, to everybody who has collaborated with us. A la Asociación Nacional de Profesores de Español en Jamaica, to our Jamaica Spanish Teachers Association. I know that our president, Senor Nerik Griffiths, is here with us. And also there are other executive members who are here as well. We'd like to say welcome to ANPE y también a la Fundación Española Jamaicana, the Spanish Jamaican Foundation. They also are one of our partners and stakeholders. I know that the CEO Vanessa Mego is here. And especially a todos los presentadores para hoy, students. We have a lot of teachers who have come on board and who will be doing our practice sessions with you today. Profesores, por favor, saluden a los estudiantes. No sé quién está aquí. Tenemos a profesora Vanessa Mego. Vanessa, si usted está aquí, abre el micrófono, por favor. Y saluda a todo el mundo.
Hello, everyone. Buenas tardes. Estoy aquí, soy gerente de la Fundación España Jamaica y profesora también. Bienvenidos a ustedes.
Muy bien, gracias, profesora, señora. A ver si profesor Kevin Edwards está aquí. Profesor Edwards. Ok, muy bien, todavía. Vamos, pasamos a Carrie-Ann Belferon, profesora Carrie-Ann Belferon.
Buenas tardes a todos y bienvenidos. Soy señora Belferon de Clarendon College.
Gracias, profe. Tenemos también señorita Susan Lawrence. Profesora Lawrence. La profesora Lawrence está aquí. Si no, está aquí la profesora Donna Marie Watt Francis. O la profesora Teresa Benjamin.
Estoy aquí.
Profe Francis, ok.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Hola.
Estoy aquí.
Muy bien, bienvenidas. Y tenemos también profesor Ricardo Morales. Señor Morales, profe. Ok, esperamos, señor Morales. Tenemos también la profesora Christian Manning. Y señor
Hola, buenas tardes a todos.
Muy bien, gracias, profe. Tenemos también profesor Gleimer Martínez.
Sí, buenas tardes para todos. Bienvenidos a esta sección de entrenamiento. Muchas gracias por la invitación. Para mí es más que un placer estar participando acá. Soy profesor cubano y imparto las clases de español en la escuela primaria Gregory Park. Muchas gracias.
Muy bien, gracias, profe. Y no sé si señora Blair Allen está aquí. Ella tiene algunos problemas técnicos, pero vamos a continuar. Muy bien, estudiantes.
Permiso, Ramonia. Miso Ramonia, buenas tardes, buenas tardes. El host me tenía que desbloquear. No hay problema, bendiciones. Va a ser una sesión excelente, estoy segura. Tienes un equipo de primera.
Muy bien, gracias.
Gracias.
Ok, entonces, vamos.
Ramonia,
Dime.
I'm here. Estoy aquí, mi gente. I was having a little challenge with my audio, so I was waving. Estoy aquí.
Está bien, gracias. Ok, muy bien, muchachos. And entonces, we would just like to remind you of some very important guidelines for this session. Remember, students, that if you need to say something, you raise your hands, or Professor Nerik Griffiths, he will allow you to speak. And as soon as you have finished speaking, you just mute your mics again, and then we continue, okay? And also remember that we have a chat room. You should be quite familiar with Zoom, so you know that you can post your questions and you can post your comments there as well. And remember too that you are going to post only comments that are appropriate, all right? We are going to excuse you from the room if you post an inappropriate comment, but we know that of the 258 persons who are here, participants, we know that we have excellent minds and brains who will post clear and lovely comments, all right? And entonces, vamos a seguir. So you were on earlier on and you heard this beautiful song that was playing, and I know that you heard Si Se Puede. All right. And is there any student who would like to tell me what this means? ¿Algún estudiante? I see Jody and McIntosh.
Si se puede.
Yes, you can.
Yes, I can. Yes, you can.
Jordan, yes, you can. Muy bien. And it is very general. Muchas gracias. Okay. Yes, and so students, that is our theme for this afternoon. Okay, nuestro tema para esta tarde. I want for you to get in your minds that no matter where you are right now in your preparation, I want for you to tell yourselves and believe that you can, and that you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. And on that note, we just like to just commit this entire session into the hands of God. And I ask that he will just cover us as we go through this session, that this session will be a session of empowerment for you, not just preparation, but empowerment for you to feel confident coming out of this session, that you are really able to do all things through him. So we commit everything in his hands in Jesus's name. Entonces, on that note, there is a student who shared her experience, or who shares her experience with you. And I know that hearing it from your teachers all the time is very encouraging, but when you speak to somebody who has actually been there, like you in your in your age group, it becomes a little bit more real. So I want to share this with you. And it is a past student. She just did her CSEC exams, or she did it last year. And she's sharing her experience with you. So I want for you to listen to her and to see if you can take any words of advice from her, and see if you're even doing some of the things that she has been doing, okay? Or that she did. Se llama Makeda Smith.
Hello guys, my name is Makeda.
Let me try again.
Makeda Smith, and I'm from the Clarendon College High School. Now I'm just here to talk to you about how I prepared for this.
Can you guys hear? All right, it seems like I am frozen, but let's go again.
No.
All right. Not sure why I'm frozen. Are you able to see my screen? Let me know if you're able to see my screen.
We cannot see it, Ramon.
We can see your screen, but it's not the video.
All right. Okay, I am going to try again. Okay, I'm going to try again. But in the meantime, students, I want for you to write something in the chat. We are going to do a temperature check. Write a word in Spanish in the chat that describes how you are feeling right now. ¿Cómo están? ¿Cómo se encuentren? And for my facilitators, Professora Ferron, I just want you to let us know what the students are saying. I'm seeing somebody say cansada.
I see a lot of cansadas. Like, seriously, a lot of people being tired.
Okay. All right. And I am still resolving what's happening here. Not sure what's going on, but we will get there. Okay, and is there any student here? Students, I also want for you to write in the chat el nombre de tu escuela. And there's some questions I'm going to be asking you as well as we proceed. ¿Cuál es su asignatura favorita y por qué? And I'd actually want somebody to respond to that orally. If you are brave enough, which I know you are, just raise your hands, open your mics. I'm seeing the Queen School and St. Hilda's. Anybody ready to answer? ¿Cuál es su asignatura favorita? If it's not Spanish, then you don't. I'm just joking. Okay. Okay, I'm seeing 2 participants. Your hands are up, Professor Griffiths. They are ready to answer. Let us hear from our students. All right, not hearing you students. I see Adanake Curtis. Your hand was up. Danae Curtis, your hand was up.
Yes, miss. El español, porque es divertido y interesante.
Ajá, muy bien. Gracias. Gracias, Danae. ¿Otro estudiante? ¿Qué tal, Cheyenne?
Sí, señora.
Sí. Dinos.
Estoy feliz Mi escuela es Clarendon College.
Ok, Clarendon College, muy bien. Ok, muy bien. Entonces, muchachos, vamos a continuar. And it's interesting that you say you're from Clarendon College. Let's see if we can get this video again. Okay. Is there anybody else here who is from Clarendon College or from another school you'd like to introduce yourselves? Okay, Chris Campbell. Go ahead, Chris.
Hola, buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes. ¿Cómo estás?
Estoy muy genial.
Ah, muy genial, perfecto, muy bien. Bienvenido, Chris. Y, ok, tenemos también Michael. As soon as you speak, guys, just remember to mute and then lower your hands. So, Chris, baja la mano, sí. All right. Ok, vamos a seguir. I might have to end up asking, okay, good. Let's go.
Hello guys, my name is Makeda Smith and I'm from the Clarendon College High School. Now I'm just here to talk to you about how I prepared for the Spanish CSEC exam. So basically, the paper one, I just practice a lot of multiple choice questions, get acquainted with them, you understand? The paper two, I just did a lot of letters, practice letters and dialogues, practice a lot of them, you know. Our teacher helped us with it and all of that. For the orals now, what I did was I did a recording, right, of the questions. We got some questions from our teacher and I did a recording of it. And when I'm on my way to school, I just play the recording through my earpiece and answer the questions in my head. And if you don't have any possible answers that you can give back, you just look under the question and there are possible answers below it. So guys, it's not hard. I'm telling you, it's not hard. I did it. You can do it. Just do a lot of practice. Practice your letters, the dialogue, and you can do that same trick that I did with the oral. And just free up yourself when you're in the room with the moderator. Just don't be nervous. Just free up yourself. Have fun. Smile. Laugh, you know. Answer the questions. Don't be afraid. You can do it.
Okay. Muy bien.
Buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes, profe.
So, have a peaceful day. I hope you're all doing fine during this COVID time, everyone. And I'm Makeda Smith. Bye.
Okay, gracias, Makeda. Entonces, muchachos, y se puede. Okay,
Por
with your...
favor, profe.
Perdón, sí, profe. Bienvenido, profesor Morales.
Bueno,
Gracias. So welcome, Professor Morales. He'll be one of our facilitators today. So students, where are we heading today? All right. This is what we want to accomplish. We want to apply the mark scheme or rubric for the reading passage to achieve high performance. So we are looking specifically at the reading passage today. All right. We also want to employ strategies and tips on scoring high. Makeda just gave you some of her own personal tips. We want to look at some others as well. And I know that some of you have some that you have been trying and they've been working for you. And we also will ask you to share those as well. We also have other testimonials from 2 other students who did the exam last year and the year before. So further down, you will hear from them. And we also want for you to accurately pronounce Spanish words. Okay, muy importante. Some of you filled out a survey for us and we realized that pronunciation is really a huge challenge for you. And so we're going to treat some pronunciation here as well. And of course, we want for you to successfully read a passage or even passages, if time allows, in Spanish. All right, so that is where we're heading this afternoon, students. Okay. So what will we be looking at? We'll be looking at the mark scheme, and we'll be looking at the rubric for the reading passage. We will also look at the tips on scoring high, and we're going to be doing practice activities, and you're going to be receiving feedback as well. So students, I want at this time to tell you something. Listen carefully. This is a session where we're going to practice. Vamos a hacer mucha práctica. Why are you here? You are here, yes, to receive, and you're also here to produce, because that is how you grow. So I want for you to just try to relax. Do not be afraid of making mistakes. I always tell my students that we all make mistakes in our native language, and this is a foreign language, so much more. So I want for you to feel very at ease. Ask all the questions you need to ask. What is most important is that you participate. There are times we're going to ask you to mute your mics and we expect that you are behind your mics speaking and doing everything that we're asking for you to do. So that is the trust that we have, because we know that we want for you to get everything from the session. Okay, ¿está bien? Muy bien. Ok, vamos. Entonces, ¿estamos listos a jugar? Profesora Belferon is going to take us through an activity. So we want to find out how much you know about the CSEC Spanish oral exam. All right, we want to find out how much you know about the CSEC Spanish oral exam. All right, a ver, profe.
All right, buenas tardes otra vez. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to share the link for this activity in the chat so that you can access it, or you can look at the code on the screen in order to enter the game. So let me just paste in the chat.
All right, while she places it in the chat, let me just say, students, for those of you who are unable to play the game live, we're also going to ask you to just write your answers in the chat. But we're looking forward also to a winner this afternoon. Entonces, vamos.
Entonces hay 7 personas, 8, 9. $30 personas.
Perfecto, muy bien. Ok, vamos muchachos. Tenemos 60, 65, 68, perfecto.
Y ahora podemos empezar.
En un ratito, como 1 minuto más. Porque hay más, hay mucho más que ya están. Sí, profe. Okay, now we have 100. What? 110. Wow. Muchos. All right. So in the interest of time, muchachos, tenemos que seguir. Those of you who are unable to remember, you can put your responses in the chat. Muy bien. And Senora Lawrence, please let us hear the responses in the chat. Profe, there's someone who missed the code. Danisha, just if you could go further up, you get the code from the chat. And Cheyenne, if you can't join the game, Cheyenne, just write your answers in the chat really quick.
The code is also on the screen, 229003. It's on the screen at the top. If you check, you'll see it.
Muy bien. Gracias, profe.
All right, so LJ is leading. I wish you had put your correct name.
All right, so for those of you who were not able to join, let me see how much you know. All right.
So LJ is leading with Frith. And
¿Quién es LJ? Professora, is there a way we could see the, well, I'm not playing, so I'm not seeing the question, but for those of us who are not playing.
Those who are playing, only those who are playing can see the question.
All right. So Professora Belferon, can you remind them of some of the questions so those who are not playing can put their, gracias, Profe Lawrence. How long does the exam last? How long is the Spanish oral exam? Is it 8 to 10 minutes? Is it 10 to 20 minutes? Is it 10 to 15 minutes? Is it 5 to 10 minutes? Bien. Sí, 10 a 15 minutos. Excelente, perfecto. I'm seeing some of you saying that there is a lot about the exam that you didn't know. All right, what are the themes that
Senora.
Dime.
All right, so I can share the questions after. So can we, so we have the winner, LJ and Frith, then Marley, so we have the winners. So probably we can share the questions now.
Sí, profe. ¿Usted tiene las preguntas?
All right, so I'll have to end the game. So I end the game now.
Entonces, felicidades, LJ. ¿Quién es LJ? LJ, abra el micrófono y habla, por favor. Y felicidades a Frith, que también hizo muy bien. Y de Marley, felicidades y felicidades a todos los estudiantes que participaron.
Entonces, aquí están las preguntas, señora.
Okay, so what sections of the CSEC Spanish oral examination will be tested in June 2021? Guided conversation and oral situations, reading passage and oral situations, which one? Guided conversation and reading passage. Excelente. Guided conversation and reading passage. So students, here you are going to be getting.
What you try to say?
Griffith,
how many persons you said? Change the clue. How many persons you said that you have a person, that you have a girlfriend?
On mute.
How many people? Yeah.
Everybody.
What you have to say? Huh? What?
Why am I hiding or lying about that?
So who is the person?
Assist me, please.
That you said that you have another girl.
Gracias. Okay. All right, let's go, students. So the CSEC oral exam lasts how many minutes? Oh, yes, we had said that it lasts 10 to 15 minutes. And I was reiterating the point, students, that this year you are only going to be doing the reading passage and the guided conversation. Okay. You'll be doing 2 things this year, reading passage, guided conversation. All right, muy bien. I'm seeing Angelina, 10 to 15 minutes. Perfecto. Vamos a continuar. Now, how many marks are given for the reading passage? Vamos a ver. Let's see how many of you again know about, say, yes, muy bien, 10 marks. 10 marks for the reading passage. Excelente. What about the guided conversation? Yes, 10 marks. What about guided conversation? 45. You see how many marks, students? So that part of the exam is weighted heavily, all right? And let's go to some true or false. You are expected to answer questions based on the reading passage. Nope. You're not expected to answer questions based on the reading passage. But guess what, students? It's always good. It's always important to have like a general idea of what the passage is saying so that you can read with expression and meaning, all right? Let's go. You will respond to approximately 16 questions in the guided conversation. A ver. Yes, that is absolutely true. 16 questions approximately. And what about the next one? Only the themes, sports, shopping, and travel are tested in the oral exam. False, absolutamente falso. And as a matter of fact, remember that you're not tested on all the 6 themes, you know. You're only tested on how many again? How many? Muy bien, Justina, 4. All right, let's go to our next question. And you are given a conversation questions and the reading passage to prepare before the examination starts. I'm seeing Chris Campbell saying that they are randomly selected. Well, randomly issued to you, but it's definitely 4 of the 6 themes. And absolutely not, you're only given the reading passage to prepare. Those questions, remember that you're not gonna see those questions. So that's where your listening skills have to come in. All right, that's it, Profe Belferon. Do we have any more questions?
No, eso es.
Excellent. All right, students, you're doing very well. You're really participating and we're proud of you for that. Okay. Where were we? Ajá. Muy bien. Ok, ahora muchachos, vamos a practicar. Vamos a practicar un trabalenguas. ¿Ustedes saben qué es un trabalenguas? ¿Alguna persona sabe? Trabalenguas. Look at the word. Mira la palabra. Miren la palabra, por favor. Vamos a analizar la palabra. Trabalenguas. ¿Qué es un trabalengua? Trabalenguas. Okay. I'm seeing persons saying tongue twister, excelente. So if we do an analysis of the words, muchachos, you realize that you are seeing traba, which looks like what word? From the verb trabajar, which means to work, and lenguas, tongues. So, you know, your tongue is doing a lot of work. And that's really what happens when you do tongue twisters. Okay, trabalenguas. Okay, trying to, vamos, okay, excelente. Entonces, vamos. Tenemos este trabalenguas. Now I want for you with your mics muted before you even listen to it. I want for you to just try it on your own. So this one, as you can see, is practicing the TR sound. Tra. Okay. So, Brianna. A ver, ¿dónde está? Brianna, if you're able to unmute your mic.
Hello?
Sí.
Tres tristes tigres tragan trigo en un trigal.
Ok, muchas gracias. Qué bien. Ok, entonces, vamos a escuchar. That was very good, Brianna. Let me have you listen to it one more time. You're very good at with your TRs. I like that.
Tres tristes tigres tragan trigo en un trigal.
¿Ustedes escucharon? ¿Ya? Okay. Now, we are going to...
Questions are in the way.
Oh, okay. All right, we should have them in. All right, so I'm going to ask my teachers who are co-hosts to assist me on...
Tigres tragan trigo en un trigal. The trick to read it.
Muchas gracias. All right.
Tristes tigres tragan trigo en un trigal.
Excelente. ¿Otro estudiante?
All right, Marley, I'll unmute him.
Ok, vale. Tres tristes tigres tragan trigo en un trigal.
Ah, muy bien. Entonces, it seems as if we are ready for our next round. So, muchachos, vamos a jugar. So, let's see which one of you can say this tongue twister the fastest with the least number of errors, and fastest and the best. And I want for us to vote in the chat, students. All right, so we're on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest. We're going to have a little competition with this tongue twister. Let's see how many students want to make a try at it. My co-host, please assist me here.
So I'll unmute Tamiana.
All right, before Tamian goes, remember now, put your number in the chat. 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest. Senora Lawrence, please help me with the chat here with the votes, all right? Gracias. Adelante.
Tamian?
Tres tristes tigres tragan trigo en un trigal.
Muchas gracias. Okay. Vamos a otro siguiente. We're gonna have like 3 more for this one because we have another one to do.
Dijuan Hearts. Dejone.
Buenas tardes. Tres tristes tigres tragan trigo en un trigal.
Ajá, muy bien.
Daniel Bryan.
That was Daniel.
Vale.
Mm-hmm.
Vale. Buenas tardes.
Buenas
Tres tristes tigres tragan trigo en un trigal.
Muchas gracias. I'm seeing some 10s coming in. I've seen 7s coming in. All right.
Otra persona? Angelina?
All right, we'll take one more. All right, Angelina will go, then we'll vote. And Prof. Lawrence, I want for you to tell me which students have the highest here when Angelina goes.
Buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes.
3 tigres tragan trigo en un trigal.
Muy bien, gracias Angelina. Muy bien. Gracias. All right, so felicidades a los estudiantes. I'm seeing a 9.5 there. Okay. Ok, vamos. Vamos al otro trabalenguas. Ok, practiquen por favor. Escuchen también. Ah, perdón. Ok, vamos a ver. Yo lloro si lloras. Si lloras, yo lloro.
Yo lloro si lloras. Si lloras, yo lloro.
Otra vez.
Yo lloro si lloras. Si lloras, yo lloro.
Now let's see how many of you can say it. Just try to say it as closely to that as you can. Let me go again.
Yo lloro si lloras. Si lloras, yo lloro.
Okay, muy bien. Profe Belferon, let's see.
Justina.
Yo lloro si lloras, si lloras, yo lloro.
Gracias, Justina.
Danik Curtis.
Yo lloro si lloras, si lloras, yo lloro.
Okay, muy bien.
Brianna Gordon.
Yo lloro si lloras, yo lloro. Sorry, yo lloro.
Okay, gracias, muchachos. I love the participation. You guys are really coming on strong, man. Yes, Danisha, go ahead, Danisha. Prophet, can you allow Danisha Harrison to unmute her mic? I hope your hand is up, Danisha.
Miss, I don't know the Revison feature.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead.
Miss, I'm just trying.
Of course.
Yo lloro si lloras, si lloras, yo lloro.
Muy bien. Muy bien. And then we're going to take one more from Afia.
All right, Afia.
Yo lloro si lloras. Si lloras, yo lloro.
Okay, gracias por participar. Now, I know that there are some persons who had their hands raised and you've not yet participated, but don't worry. We have a nice evening ahead there. You will have a number of opportunities to do so, okay? Entonces, now these two sounds, the TR and the double L, they're very important. You know, I always say that the letter R really helps you with your accent. If you say tres versus tres, if you say tigres versus tigres, if you are able to roll your R's. Now let's talk about the rolling of the R's and the double R's. Now there's some of you who are already able to roll your R's, your double R's, but it really gives you a plus. But if you're not able to roll your R's and you're still sounding your R's, then you're still okay. Okay? So still try to get it, but if you're unable to, it's still fine. Okay, just continue to work at it. Vamos a practicar. Vamos a enfocar en la pronunciación. Ok. A ver, profesora Megu.
Pardon me?
Okay, vamos. So we have our vowels. A, E, I, O, U. And I'm not sure how many of you knew that we actually have, in Spanish, we have what are called weak vowels and strong vowels.
Okay, Mrs. Hamilton, you want me to take over now?
Y por favor, profe, gracias.
All right, so we have 5 vowel sounds, and it's different from in English. In English, we have long A and short A and those kind of things. In Spanish, it's very straightforward. It's always the same sound for each vowel. So A will always be A, E always be E, and E always an E sound, like 2 E's, O and U. U is like, you know what the cow says, moo? So it's just like that oo sound, okay? So the vowels are very important for your pronunciation because it makes a difference in how a word sounds, as you can imagine. So you have to practice your vowel sounds, and don't be afraid to move your mouth in the right way to accommodate it. So everybody try it. Even if I can't hear you, just go open your mouth and go okay? Then we're going to try So and then E. Now remember, you have to say it to hear yourself. Okay, E. Then O. Right? And U. Okay? So I find that a lot of persons, if they have, like, for example, a CU word, they'll try to say something like Q. It's Q. It's just an OO. All right? So we have you and I. So you and I are weak. A, O, and E are strong. What does that mean? So we have 2 vowels that are weak, termed as weak. When 2 strong vowels come together, so A and a O or O and a E, and here we have Sayan. When the 2 strong vowels come together, we have 2 separate syllables. A syllable is a unit of pronunciation. So here you have Sayan. The syllables are se and an. Sayan. Practice that. Say that. Sayan. Now, when you have a strong vowel and a weak vowel coming together, 1 syllable is formed. And this is very important because Mrs. Hamilton will then explain to you about positions of syllables later down. So it's important for you to know what a syllable is. So when a strong and a weak vowel come together, 1 syllable is formed. Quan. See there? C-U-A-N, quan. So we have quan do, because we have the weak U and the strong A. All right, and you will more hear the A sound than the U sound. Then when you have 2 weak vowels coming together, 1 will have to take charge and take control. The one that would take control is the second one. So whichever one comes second. So in the word ruido, we have the longer sound coming on the I. It's going to be the strong one in this pairing up. All right, so 1 syllable is formed, rui, and the stronger sound is on the I because it comes second. Then viuda, you will hear the U more. All right. We can move to the next slide. All right, so we're going to practice now the 5 vowel sounds, the individual and the combined sounds. So I'm going to say each of the words, and I would like students to then repeat. So I'm going to say all of them, and then we'll call upon individuals to say each of the words. So listen carefully. I'm not going to repeat. Baile, baile, bueno, bueno, autobús, autobús, cuidado, cuidado, siempre, siempre, ciudad, ciudad. Now notice the difference between cuidado and ciudad. That's a word that words that confuse persons many times, just because they have a U and an I in there. All right, but one, you notice the U comes first, and the next one, the I comes first. Reina, reina, reunir, reunir, oigo, Oigo. All right, so another thing to note too is that when a D comes between two vowels, we tend to pronounce it like a hard TH. Because if you were, I heard Mrs. Hamilton speaking to you about pronouncing the R's. If you pronounce the D like a regular D, it can sometimes sound like the Spanish R. So for example, I wanted to say todo, T-O-D-O. If I said todo, it could sound like toro, which means bull, because the tongue would be in the same position, just at it's a lighter movement. Okay? All right, so we're ready. Mrs. Hamilton, would you like to go through that exercise with them so that each student just pronounces one word? Or raise your hand. Who wants to pronounce the first word? Raise your hand. All right. So, all right, so can we just take them in order? So each person just says one word. Do I say the name of the student?
All right, let me go ahead and unmute. Amelie Smart.
Good evening, everyone. Baile. Bueno. Gracias.
Next person.
All right, Justin.
Buenas tardes. Autobús.
Muy bien.
Cheyenne.
Cuidado.
Ahora.
Chantel Banton.
Chantel.
All right, you can just unmute somebody else and sing Ashari.
All right.
Ashari.
Ashari.
Siempre.
Ahora.
Brittany.
Ciudad.
Spanish man.
Vienna.
Janelle.
Reunir.
Danik.
Juego.
Brianna.
Baile.
Deshaun.
Cuidado.
Simoya.
Autobus.
Alia.
Reina.
Italia.
Siempre.
Más personas, señora?
No, what I'm interested to hear is, I would like someone to say reunir, because it has two of the sounds, well, three of the sounds that a lot of students find challenging. And the thing about it is you have to know, in the reading, the lectura, when you read, a lot of the words are going to look like the English words and you'll be tempted to pronounce it in the English way. But you have to remember your vowels. As long as you keep in your mind A, E, I, O, U, you'll be great. All right? So try to pronounce reunir. A lot of students have an issue with the E, the U, and the E. Try to say that. I need somebody to say that word for me.
Miss.
All right, let me try to find someone who has not participated as yet. Justina.
Reunir. Good. Anybody else?
Denise.
Daniel is asking in the chat. Go ahead, Daniel.
Gracias. Reunir.
Good. Very nice. Good job. Well, you guys not going to have a problem then. Pronunciation up, man. All right, so we can move on to the next slide. All right, so just a point to note that when you have a QU, it always makes a K sound, always. So QUI will be key, QUE will be K. So we can pronounce these words, chaqueta, quisiera, quince, sorry, and quedarse. Okay, would you like to try? We're just going to have one set of students just running through real quick. Could we just go back to the QU words 1 second? We just want 4 students to try to pronounce these words, 1 each.
Okay.
Miss Check.
Anybody?
Okay, Cheyenne, go ahead.
Chaqueta.
Chaqueta, muy bien. Next one.
Quisiera.
Shine, you want to go all 4?
Yes, miss, I would like to try.
All right, well, go ahead, go ahead.
Chaqueta. Quisiera.
Okay.
Quince.
Quince, good.
Quedarse.
All right. That was good. All right, we're just going to have one more person trying all 4. So the teacher will select one more person.
Alexandra Wright wants to try.
Okay, go ahead.
Chaqueta.
All right, remember that QU makes a K sound. So try that again.
Chaqueta.
Chaqueta.
Chaqueta. Quisiera. Quince or quince.
Which one are, quince?
Quince.
Try the second word.
Quisiera.
So well. Say it again.
Quisiera.
Quisiera. Okay, and the last one now.
Quedarse. Quedarse.
Not bad. All right, very nice. All right, so we're going to move on now. All right, so there are 3 letters. Well, they used to be letters in the Spanish alphabet, and ella, r, and che. But they are now no longer part because they're not technically not letters. They're pairs of letters, but they make one sound. All right, so the llama, all right, so the pronunciation of the double L depends on the country where the person is from, and well, basically that is it. So se llama, castellano, and then these are one word, 1 R, revolucionar and hogar. Oh, guys, remember that the H is always what? Anybody knows anything special about letter H? It's only
The
there
H is
for
always
pretty
silent.
It's silent.
always silent.
Silent.
Oh, only there for pretty looks. And the J, what sound does a J make?
An H.
Yes, always. J makes an H sound. Okay? So try your best to not pronounce the H when you see it. And a lot of the reading passages have H's in it. All right? Then we have the chocolate, chaqueta. All right, chica. Anybody knows any other word that sounds with starts with CH? No other word?
Chica.
Cheque. Wow, this one love money, man. Cheque. I like cheques too. All right.
Chica. Chico.
Chico. Chiste. Chica.
Chica.
Chile. Chispa. Muy bien. Very nice. Very nice. Thank you. Can we move on? All right. So C in English has two sounds, right? Does anyone know the two sounds that C makes in English? And soft, but we want a K and S. Very good, right? So C makes a K sound and an S sound. So for example, cook, you hear the K, right? Peace, you hear the S. It's the same way in Spanish. The se makes two sounds. So in front of E and I, it makes an S sound. So ciudad, and you saw that word before, and celebrando, it makes that S sound in front of E and I, okay? G is just the same. It makes a soft sound in front of E and I, so it sounds like the English H. So it'll be gente and gigante. Now in gigante, do you hear G making any other sound? Gigante. The regular G sound. So it's making its two sounds in that word, gigante. All right. And I'm going to tell you a word in Spanish that shows C making two sounds. Cocina. Do you hear both sounds in that word? Cocina.
Yes.
All right. So G and C will have their hearts. Okay. All right. So we can, I don't know if it's still me. No, now we're back to Mrs. Hamilton. Thank you, everyone.
Okay. Muchas gracias, profe.
De nada.
Okay. Entonces, muchachos, Profesora Megu touched on the pronunciation of very important words. And now we want to look at words with no written accent marks, or what we would call tilde. So I have a question for you. Do you know anything in terms of the rules of pronunciation for words that do not have a written accent mark? I'm seeing some hands raised. I'm not sure if they were for the previous question, but Professor Ferron, if you would unmute them or just give them a chance, if anybody would like to take a shot at this question. So what's the
Jordan? All right, so if not Jordan, then Marley.
Okay, vale.
All right, go ahead.
I think one of the rules is if the word ends with an N, S, or any vowel, the second to last vowel in the word is stressed.
Okay, if it ends with a vowel or N or S, the second to last vowel or second to last syllable is stressed.
It could be the second to last. I think it would be the second to last syllable.
Okay, all right. Vamos a ver.
Unless the word.
Attempt, the Marley, and let us see. And you're absolutely correct. So if the word has no written accent mark, okay, if it ends with a vowel, or if it ends with the letter N, or if it ends with the letter S, the stress is placed naturally on the second to last syllable. Now, students, it's very important for you to apply this, because as you read, you're going to always need to bear that in mind. I am not sure if you used to think about this before this evening, but it's very important for you to have this in mind and to always think about it. Pay attention to the words. All right, start to analyze your words more now if you didn't before, because accentuation is one of the things that you're marked for in the exam. Okay, if in other words, if you're placing on the word, if you're placing the correct emphasis on the word at the right place. Okay, so let's look at some of these words. And by the way, these words have been taken from a passage that we're going to be looking at this afternoon. Okay, vamos a ver. All right, so we look at, bueno, la primera es alegre, alegre, alegre. So you realize that it ends with a vowel, and if we syllabicate the word, we would get a, le, and gre as the three vowels, as the three synonyms. So therefore, the stress is going to be on the le, which is the second to last, which is the second to last syllable. All right, and let's look at this one, encuentran. Look at it, it ends with an N, right? Right, students? And it has three syllables, encuentran. So that is why we would say encuentran and not look at it and say something like encuentran or encuentran or something else. So we look right here, we see that the stress is right here on the second to last syllable. Now, students, is very important. I can't emphasize. Really just think about this. Just pay attention to what the word ends with. We know that if we see a written accent mark, we just simply place an emphasis on the vowel that the accent mark is on, or on the syllable wearing the accent. But it gets a bit tricky when we do not have any accent marks. All right, so encuentran. Y la otra dice vendes. Okay, vendes. So even though the word has two syllables, it still has a second to last syllable, which is actually the first, which is ven. So vendes. All right, now let us look at these words. With your minds muted, I want for you to apply the stress rule and repeat. Okay, repitan por favor. ¿Listos? Okay. Involucran. Involucran. Acerque. Acerque. Now I'm going to pause there and I am going to teach you a little trick that I always teach my students. And it is called the snap your finger trick. Now, essentially, I want for you, right where you are now, to snap your finger when you get to the syllable that is stressed. Make sure that you're snapping your finger, because what this does, it allows you to be alert and to place the emphasis the right place on the word. So, and you don't have to snap your finger. You could stomp your feet. It doesn't matter, as long as you're knocking something or as long as you're paying attention. Okay, so in the case of involucran, it would be involucran. Got it? Okay, let's try that. I hope you're trying. Vamos a la otra. Acerque. Acerque. Estrategias. Estrategias. Existen. Existen. And I wonder who can pronounce the last one from me. Let me see who can try the last one. Let's apply the rule quickly. Anybody wants to take a try?
Hable.
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 Hable. I remember that Professor mentioned that the H is not, it's not pronounced. It's just there for the pretty looks. Y nada más. Hable. Muy bien. Now, it becomes realer when we try it to a rhythm. So we're going to try to say these words to a rhythm, okay? And I want for you, listen to the beat, listen to the rhythm. For those of us who are musical, it might be a bit easier for you, all right? Listen to the beat, listen to the rhythm, and you're going to say the word, putting the emphasis on the right syllable, Okay, on the rhythm. Okay, let's try. I'm gonna go first and then I'm gonna invite students to just take a shot. Involucra. Hacerte. Estrategia. Hable. Okay, maybe that music was a bit loud. Could you guys hear me?
The music was louder.
All right. The music was too loud. Let me try to turn this down. All right. Just give me a minute, please. All right, students, do me a favor. Just take a, if you are able to take a picture or a screenshot of this, I'm going to ask you to do that. And I'm going to adjust my volume just a little bit so that you can hear me better. All right, I hope that you're trying. Is there anybody who just wants to take a shot? Just open your mics if you can remember any of the words before I project them again. I see Brianna Gordon. Brianna raised her hand. Go ahead, Brianna.
Miss, are you gonna play it with the music or without it?
Yes. All right. Just give me a minute. Let me just go back and share again. All right. I'm still sharing. Right. Stop share. I'm still sharing. Okay. All right. Go ahead now.
Miss, hold on, can you please start over again? Miss? I'm sorry.
Are you hearing Brianna?
Yes, Miss, but the beat is kind of, it's kind of low, Miss.
Go again?
Miss, the beat, it's kind of low, Miss, the music.
Ay, mi madre. Let me adjust my volume just one more time. All right. How is that now? How is that?
Oh, yes, Miss. Yes,
Okay.
Miss.
Good. So make sure we can hear you now, okay?
Okay. Involucran, acerque, estrategias, existen, hable. Is it on beat, Miss?
Yes, would love for you to say it on beat. You want to take another try?
Miss, like the music. Okay. Miss, can I do it without the music though?
Sure, go ahead.
Involucran, acerque, estrategias, existen, hable.
Okay, muy bien. Not a bad attempt. Not a bad attempt, Brianna. Now let's look at the third word. So let's syllabicate. All right, and students, everybody else, just look at the word and break that word up for me. So we have estrategias, okay? Which is the second to last syllable? Which one?
C.
Exactly. Muy bien. So this is where we need our emphasis, right? This is where we need our emphasis. Estrategias. Okay? All right. Muy bien. Is there another student who wanted to try, Profe?
Yes,
And, okay. Is that, who is that? Amelie?
Yes, Miss.
Do you want it with the music?
No, Miss.
Permiso, señora.
Dime.
Miss, I can't see the screen. I don't know if I'm the only one.
Okay. Let me try to project again. No?
No.
All right. Is anybody else seeing the screen?
Sí.
Yes, we're seeing the screen.
Okay, it might be something with your device. Perhaps you want to look at that.
What she can also do is to scroll in the part that you view, and you might see that. You can scroll in the part where you view the person's face and stuff, you will be able to see it there.
Okay. Oh, let me show my face. All right. Would you like to go again, or can somebody else in the meantime make her go?
Miss, I would like to go.
Okay, muy bien. ¿Con música o sin música?
Miss, without the music.
Okie dokie.
Involucran, acerque, estrategias, existen, hable.
Okay, not a bad attempt, señorita. Smart. Eres lista. Sí. Let us look again. Okay, students, with your mics muted, let's try this one again. Estrategias, right here. Estrategias. Estrategias. I want for you to snap your fingers when you get to the T, okay? Estrategias. And this word, remember that the Spanish sound for the zeta is as you were for the X, for the X. It's a X. Entonces, this is existen. Existen. In English, we say exist. And that's a cognate. And let me tell you, many times there are cognates or words that closely resemble their English equivalents, which are placed in those passages to really assess your pronunciation knowledge. Okay, so pay attention to words like existen, which very much looks like exist. In fact, it does mean to exist, right? So pay attention, existen. Okay, muy bien. All right, we're going to go to just one more student and then we're going to continue. And I'm going to see who is brave enough to do it to the music, to the beat. Profe, who is up next?
Is I would like to try.
Okay.
Con la música. Muy bien. No escucho nada. Would you like to do without the music? All right. All right.
May I please try?
Sí. ¿Quién es Justina?
With the music?
Muy bien.
Can you please start over?
All right, let me try to start over.
Involucran, acerque, estrategias, existen, hable.
Excelente, excelente. You have stressed, you have placed the emphasis on all the right syllables, all right? All right, we're going to move on. And for those of you who didn't get a chance, I want for you to just, and everybody else, we're gonna just say them one more time. A la música, escuchen y repitan. Escuchen y repitan. Involucran. Acerque. Estrategias. Existen. Hable. Ok, muy bien. All right. Vamos a seguir. So we have another set of words, right? Following the same rules. We're looking at the words with no written tildes or accent marks. So we're looking at words now. Previously, we were looking at words that end with what? Vowels or the letter N or the letter S. Good, and remember that we place the emphasis in those words on the second to last syllable. Okay, though the emphasis is naturally placed on the second to last syllable in those words. Now, what if the word does not end with a vowel or N or S? What if it ends with another, what if it ends with a consonant except N or S? And the stress is placed naturally on the last
syllable.
We being on the last one. So let us look at these words. Vamos a ver this word, universidad. Now this is another cognate. Okay, it closely resembles its English equivalent, which is university. Now, in English, if we're pronouncing this word, we would place the emphasis right here. That's all we say. We say university. But in Spanish, it's a whole different thing because of the rules of stress. So that's why it is important to always focus and concentrate, especially when you see those words that look just like the English or almost like the English. Those are the tricky ones. Those are placed there deliberately to test your knowledge of pronunciation and rules of stress and accentuation. So apply the rule. So if we look at this, we realize that emphasis will be placed on the dad. So you'll not stress anywhere else in the word. So it's universidad. Universidad. ¿Está bien? Y esta palabra se pronuncia animal. Animal. So let's try to snap our fingers on the syllable that is stressed again. Animal. Animal. ¿Y la otra palabra?
Señora.
Dime.
I'm not sure we're seeing the screen that you're talking. You're still on the first one.
I'm still on the first screen. Okay.
Yes, we're not seeing that list of words.
One more. How about now?
We're seeing rules of stress, número dos.
No, okay, perfect. All right, guys. So let me just reiterate. This is what I was talking about, right? So we look at the word universidad, and we look at where the emphasis is going to be on the dad, which is the last syllable, because the word ends with a consonant, which is not N or S. And it doesn't have a written tilde or accent mark. I'm seeing Angelina. Angelina's hand is raised. Do you have a question, Angelina? All right. Vamos a continuar. And here we go, animal. Professora Belfron, can you unmute Angelina just in case she has a question here? And students, remember, you can also place your, yes. All right. Okay, vamos. Doctor. Okay, entonces vamos a practicar. Now I want for you to apply the rule of stress. Escuchen. Vamos a practicar. Richard, you have your mic open. I'm going to ask you to mute. Okay, vamos. Actitud. Repitan, muchachos, actitud. Comodidad. Comodidad. Internet. Internet. I wonder who can pronounce the last two for me.
Hogar, canal.
Hogar y canal, muy bien. Muchas gracias. All right, so we're going to go again now. We're going to try that activity we did earlier. right, students, escuchen y repitan, ¿ok? Vamos. Actitud. Hogar. Canal. Okay. Is there anybody now who'd want to try? Let's take a go at these words. Let's see.
Miss, can you repeat the attitude verb?
Well, it's actually a noun, actitud. And look, it goes right here. That's where you place the emphasis. Actitud. ¿Puedes repetir? Actitud. Okay, muy bien. All right. Anybody wants to make a go at these words?
Miss, yes, I would like to try.
Without the music.
Okay, let's see who is going to go first.
Justina.
I would like to try with the music, please.
Perfecto, muy bien.
Comodidad. Internet. Actitud. Hogar. Canal.
Ajá, muy bien. Muy bien, perfecto. Perfecto. ¿Otro estudiante? All right, guys, you really warm them up. I love it, I love it. Anybody else wants to go?
Amelie.
Mimi.
Okay, go ahead. Amelia, ¿estás bien? Who is it that's going?
Miss, I'm asking you to start over with the song, please.
With the music?
Yes, miss.
Okay, let's go. We're not hearing you. Well, I'm not hearing you. I'm not sure if anybody else is hearing.
No, we're
Miss,
not.
can I try without the music?
Sure. Seguro. Vamos, adelante.
Comodidad. Internet. Actitud. Hogar. Canal.
Muy bien, muy bien. Let's
Try also without the music.
Sí, claro que sí. Señor Beadle, adelante.
Comodidad, internet, actitud, hogar, canal.
Muy bien. Our students are
Can I
smart.
try also?
Claro que sí, Carissa. Adelante.
Comodidad, internet, actitud, hogar, canal.
Perfecto.
Can I go with music?
Con música, ok, muy bien, señorita Smart. Vamos. We're not hearing you clearly, so just start again without the music. Let's hear you clearly. Your mic is low. Go ahead.
Comodidad. Internet. Actitud. Hogar. And canal.
Perfecto. Muy bien, muchachos. Muy bien, estudiantes. Tenemos que continuar, okay? All right. So words that have written accent marks now, or written tilde or tildes. So this one is easy. So where does the where do you stress in that word?
Miss, you stress the where the accent is or the letter that has the accent.
Perfecto. Perfecto. You basically stress with the syllable that is wearing the accent. Okay. Remember that our accents only go over vowels. Profesor Megu, ¿estás aquí? ¿Estás lista?
Sí, estoy lista siempre.
¿Puedes seguir? Okay.
Okay. Okay, so words with written accents. So in every word in Spanish, there is a syllable that is stressed. So Mrs. Hamilton had told you a while ago about those that end with NS and a vowel, and those that end with other consonants. So those are where the natural stresses are. So whenever you don't have the natural stress, or whenever you have the actual stress in a syllable, other than where the natural stress would be, then you would use an accent mark. So you see, for example, the word clásica. The natural stress should have been on the I, but it's so easy for us because we're like, instead of thinking, oh, does this end with a vowel? Does it end with a consonant? Where do I put the stress? There's a big accent mark right there. So you know that that is the syllable that's stressed. So these words are clásica, línea, formación, además, ayudará. Okay? So try to practice, even though we may not be hearing you, try to say the words. When I say them, repeat after me and practice, because remember, part of the orals is listening and another part is being able to speak. All right?
Excuse
so
me, Professor.
See, Melissa.
Miss Ramona was saying that accents
her-
are only over vowels.
Yes, it can only come over a vowel. There's no
So-
way, because what an accent mark does, it tells you that, hey, this is where the longer pronunciation is. So instead of going clásica, you go clásica. The A has a longer sound. You can't
So
go a
what
longer sound.
about N?
No, that is a problem with the students that we need to address. All right, N and N, that's what you're talking about, don't it?
Yes, miss.
Well, let me ask you a question. Is a T a L with a cross, or is it just a T?
Buena pregunta.
Melissa?
Yes, miss.
Is it just a T or is it an L with a cross?
It's a T.
All right, so the N is just an N. It's a letter. That little tilde on the top of it just tells you that it's not an N, but an N. Just like how the cross on the T tells you it's not a L, but a T, okay?
Okay, miss.
So the N, I soon tell you, Nike. The N has a unique sound, and it's important that you pronounce it like the NY in canyon. I want you to try that. Canyon. Say that.
Canyon.
And it's very important, especially when you're telling someone your age, that you do not mispronounce the años, and you can do some research and see why. All right?
Okay, miss. So that's why it is in the alphabet, like it's a letter.
Yes, it's a letter. It's an N.
Okay, miss.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to read the words again, and I want you to practice saying them, even though we're not hearing it. All right? Ready? Clásica. Línea. Formación. Además. Ayudará. So, we can move to the next slide, please? The thing, Nike, with the accent marks is that if you get enough practice with listening to the words, you will know where the accent mark falls if there's any. Look at these words now. Accent marks are used when the actual stress falls on a syllable other than the one that would naturally be stressed. So if, for example, the word inglés, it ends with an S, so it would naturally have been stressed on the I because that's the second to last syllable. But the stress is on the E. When I say the word inglés, I hear the stress on the E and I know that, oh, wait, this word should have had the stress on the I. So for the fact that I'm hearing the longer sound on the E, there has to be an accent mark there. Okay? When you pluralize it, it becomes ingleses. Now it ends with an S. The natural stress is on the gle, where that syllable. The actual stress is on the gle, so you don't need an accent mark. Ingleses. Same thing with inglesa. Natural stress is on the gle and the actual stress is the same place. You do not need an accent mark. So you just only need it when the stress is on the other syllable other than the one that should naturally be stressed. Hoven now, because sometimes we wonder, why is it that a word has an accent mark here, and then when I pluralize it, it don't have an accent mark there. And this is precisely why. Okay? Hoven. The long sound is on the O. Hoven, it ends with an N. So the natural stress should be on the O. And it is. So we don't need an accent mark. Then we pluralize it. It becomes hovenes. Now we need the accent mark there so that we don't say hovenes. It's hovenes. The long sound is still on the O. So although the V should be stressed, we need to indicate that, hey, the stress is on the O. All right? Everybody is clear? That's fine?
Disculpe.
You can put in the chat if that's okay.
Miss,
Any
I have a
question?
question.
All right.
Perdón, there was a student who has a question.
Sure.
Profe, go ahead.
Miss, the V, Miss, I've heard that it makes a B sound in Spanish.
The what?
The V, the letter V, Spanish
Okay.
makes a B sound.
All right. So the way how persons pronounce the V, it can be like a soft B sound. You can say jóvenes, but that is also specific to the country where one learns to speak the language. All right. And even like for a country like Spain, some people will speak with an S with a Th, like a thin. So they will say, even a C, they'll say cocina. I can't really say that. But in some regions, they'll say cocina and some they'll say cocina. So it really depends on the region. It depends on the way how that area speaks, all right? It's not incorrect if you use the B sound, if that's what your teacher teaches you, okay?
May I say something to add to that too, Profe?
Sure, of course.
Yeah, so students, it's just like we speak standard Jamaican English. However, there are words that are pronounced differently as you go across English territories. It's the same thing. What you do, whichever pronunciation that you're comfortable with, use that one in the exam, because what you don't want to do is to be using something you're not comfortable with, and then because of that you end up mispronouncing a word. So whether you want to say jóvenes or jóvenes, está bien.
The important thing is that you pronounce your vowels properly and you put your stresses where they must go. All right? All right, so we're moving on. Accent marks are used in all interrogative and exclamatory words. And does anyone know what an interrogative word is?
Question word.
Questioning word. Very nice. So, quién, dónde, cuándo, they all bear an accent mark when they're in the question, because you know that quién can be used in the middle of a sentence, like when you're saying the boy who, or you'd use a quién there, but it wouldn't have an accent mark in the sentence. But when it is a question, it has the accent mark. How do you know where to put the accent mark? Geez, quién has 3 vowels. Where do I put it? It's put on the first strong vowel. Remember that you and I are weak, right? A, O, and E are strong. So therefore for quién, you have you and I, which are the weak ones, and then you have the E. So you put an accent mark there. All right? Now, accent marks are also used to distinguish between words of similar spelling. So for example, se, the reflexive object pronoun meaning to do an action to oneself, or se, meaning I know. There's a difference. Then L, what does the L without the accent mark mean? Anybody knows?
The.
They. Okay. And what does the one with the accent mark mean?
He.
He. Good. All right. And
Miss, I didn't hear. Could you repeat, please?
all right, L without the accent mark is the, and L with the accent mark is he. And there are other words, like for example, an issue that I have sometimes with students is with the C, meaning yes. They write it without the accent mark. The C meaning yes has an accent mark. The C without means if. Anybody knows any other pair like that? That is similar?
Okay.
With the accent and without, what do they mean?
I didn't hear what you said, Alia.
I was asking the
Means to and to. Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry, Alia is speaking. Just give her a chance, all right? Come again, Alia.
I'm asking the say without the accent and the one with the accent. I was asking what they mean.
All right. The one without the accent is for the reflexive, like como se llama, el se baña. When you're carrying out an action on yourself, it's an object pronoun se. Okay? And then the se with the accent is the first person for saber, which means I know. All right, so I'm seeing some examples here. The tu without the accent means your, the one with means you. Mama with the accent means mommy, and mama.
Solo and solo.
Yeah, solo and solo has that same thing too. All right, papa with the accent means father, and papa without the accent means potato. That ke, all right, but we know that the ke, that means that is just because it's in a sentence, and the ke with the accent is either an interrogative or exclamatory. Right, and esta and esta, yes, that's different as well. Very nice, very good. All right, so we're clear on that. Can we move on? Is there anything else for me? All right, so thank you, everyone. All right, so have a good exam and I wish you all the best. Just remember to be calm in your exam. I'm going to leave now, but it was really a pleasure sharing with you.
Muchas gracias, Profe. And Professor Megu will be in a breakout room, in a breakout session with some of you, and we're going there shortly so you can actually practice reading and getting some feedback, all right? But let's look at a few things before we go into our practice sessions. Okay, consejos para la lectura. So I said earlier on that we would be hearing from some students who did the exam not so long ago or recently. And we want for you to listen to them and tell us what tips you found useful, and tell me if you are already doing some of the things that they are advising you to do, okay? La primera persona es Nefta Blackwood, vamos.
Hola a todos, mi nombre es Nefta Blackwood.
Está bastante fuerte. Is it loud enough for you, muchachos? A ver, déjame.
Hola a todos, mi nombre es Nefta Blackwood. I'm a current student of the West Indies Mona, where I'm pursuing a major in biotechnology with double minors in economics and management studies. I'm a proud former student of the Clarendon College, and I'm also a proud former student of Senora Bell's Spanish class. I'm here as a source of motivation.
Sorry, students, I'm going to just ask you to mute your mic. Gracias.
To you guys who have your Spanish oral examinations coming up. Guys, remember that the Spanish oral exam is very much different from the final written paper. And when I say different, I don't just mean that one is written and the other is oral. In the oral exam, you are there alone with the moderator. It's not scary, but you will feel nervous. And when I say nervous, You won't feel nervous throughout the entire assessment, but you will feel nervous before. You are there waiting for your name to be called. You might not even want your name to be called, you know, because you don't want to go there. But once the questions are being asked and you are answering those questions, that is a time when your confidence starts building up. And an online space, so you guys are going to set up Zoom meetings, you're going to use WhatsApp calls, you're going to text your friends in Spanish. In going, I want to leave this phrase on my t-shirt with you guys. Nothing is impossible. And in Spanish, nada es imposible. Guys, trust and believe in yourself. You have to practice. You have to want it. You don't want to pass. You don't want a grade 3. You want a distinction, not just a grade 1. You want a distinction. So in going, nada es imposible. You can do it and you will do it.
Okay, muy bien. All right, just put in the chat how useful was that for you, and if there are any tips that you took, share it with us. If there is anything that she's advised you to do and you're doing it, let us know.
Blessed good morning, everyone. My name is Sadiq Adams, and I will be sharing with you my experience in last year's oral exam. I was a bit nervous at first, but I had to relax and keep calm. When I was calm, I started to read fluently and answer all questions fluently, and I prepared myself by spending half an hour reading different Spanish passages, and I recorded myself while doing so. And I spent most of my time trying to pronounce the bigger words and words that I wasn't familiar with. For the conversation, I built my vocabulary by learning at least 5 new Spanish words a day, and whenever I'm listing examples describing something, I gave at least 3 examples. My advice to you is to practice reading every day and record yourself and focus on the bigger words. Study every day and build your vocabulary. On the day of your oral exam, this examiner will give you some time to practice the reading passage. My advice is to focus on pronouncing the bigger words.
Okay, muy bien. Muy bien. So you heard what Sadiki said about treating bigger words. So we want to, yes, we want to bear those in mind. And also, we'd advise, you know, watch and listen to a lot of Spanish material online. Practice your tongue twisters, a lot of trabalenguas. And also for your reading passage, it's very important, students, that you gain a general understanding or the main idea of the passage. And why is this so? Remember that we had said earlier, because you need to read with understanding, as if you understand. And it's not that you have to know every single word, students, all right? It's not like you have to know every single word in the passage, but if you are, for example, able to identify your adjectives and nouns as you read, you would know how to phrase a line. You'd know when to pause, so that if you're reading, you are not pausing between an adjective and a noun, because you know that an adjective qualifies a noun or it describes the noun. So you'd read that as one phrase, okay? So try to get a general understanding. While you're preparing, if you encounter a word that you find difficult to pronounce, just like you would do in English, you break up the word into syllables and then you pronounce them slowly for the first time. And you say the word over and over again. And every time you say the word, you go a little faster, saying the individual syllables a little faster, joining the individual syllables until voila, you're saying the word. And then you repeat the words until you're comfortable saying them. And then what can you do next? The phrase that difficult word is in, repeat the phrase. And then repeat the entire sentence that word is in. All right, so you can try that. For example, this is going to be in the online class that you'll find. El Internet ha demostrado ser el canal perfecto para adquirir conocimiento desde la comodidad de tu casa u oficina. All right, now look at these words. Look at conocimiento. By the way, do you know what these words mean? I'm seeing Lynn with the hand up.
Hola, Miss. Could you repeat the word that starts with AD again?
Adquirir. Remember the QUI. Remember that QUI and QUE that we did earlier on? So QUI.
So that's key.
Muy bien. So what is the word?
Adquirir.
Adquirir.
Yeah, because I'm seeing two IR, so it looks kind of tricky.
Yes, it is tricky, but look at it in a way that you are dividing the word into syllables. Let's do that. It has 3 syllables. Ad, ki, rir.
Yeah, the last syllable is kind of hard.
Yeah, the last syllable is tricky because of all the R's, and that's fine. So you say it slowly at first, just saying all your syllables separately. Then you go a little bit faster, then a little bit faster, flowing your syllables into each other until you're saying the word. And if you're reading and when you're about to say that difficult word, you can slow down a little bit. Okay?
All right, Miss, thank you.
Muy bien. So, bueno, so conocimiento, anybody knows these words that are highlighted?
Knowledge and comfort.
Knowledge and comfort. So what do you think it's saying about the internet? Obviously, it's talking about the internet. Just give me a general picture about what you think it's saying about the internet in your own words. Even if you don't know the meaning of adquirir.
Miss, may I give it a try?
Sure.
The internet has demonstrated to be a perfect canal to acquire knowledge from the comfort of your home or office.
Essentially, yes. You know, the internet has shown itself as a perfect channel or perfect way to gain knowledge or to acquire knowledge from the comfort of your home or your office. Okay. So look at what I was talking about. You didn't know canal, but you knew perfecto, or even if you didn't know perfecto, you know that perfecto is describing canal. So if you were reading, then it would not be wise to pause here. If you were saying el internet ha demostrado ser el canal perfecto para adquirir, etc. So you know you put
Excuse me.
See?
Another letter to.
I'm not hearing you clearly, Melissa. All right, Melissa, I'm not sure what's going on, but when you have your question, let me know.
Miss, I have a question.
Sure.
For Tukasa, O or Miss, isn't the U supposed to be or, which means R, or?
Well, it's actually saying or, but can you think about it? If somebody who can tell me, yeah, it doesn't mean or, but why is it that it wasn't O?
Because it have ends with 2 vowels, so the A and the O.
So, can you guys see where the cursor is? Can you see the cursor?
Yes, miss.
All right, so it's right on the U, okay? So the letter coming up next is the letter O, oficina. So if So if we had the letter O to mean or here, there would be a big clash of sounds between the O and the officina, like a big long sound, and we're not realizing that there's a break on this, like two separate words. So because of the sounding and to accomplish the difference in the sound between the O, meaning or, and the officina, which follows it, that's why we use you, but it means the same thing, or. All right, and there's another instance of that, and I know somebody can tell me where.
The A instead of A when it is followed by a word that's begins with I or I sound.
Very good, Marley. So the same thing with the Y, meaning and, E. If the word coming up has the same sound, E, then that Y, the and changes into an A, an E, which then it still means and, just to accomplish the change or the difference in pronunciation. All right. All right, so we are going to continue. We have broken up those words again. So let's talk about fluency, guys. Fluency doesn't necessarily mean speed. I mean, persons can be talking very fast and there's no fluency, because fluency it does take in some speed, it takes in rate, it takes in the accuracy, all right? It is really about flow. And there is one thing that you can do to accomplish fluency when you are reading. For example, if you are talking about no es de oro, okay, let's say you saw a sentence like this, okay? It's not gold or it's not made of gold, no es de oro. Pay attention to the all right, so in this case, look at what's happening. The word ends with a vowel. The one coming up starts with another vowel or vowel sound. If that's the case, then what you try to do to accomplish more fluency is that you can run one word into the next as if there's no break. So instead of saying no es, you say no es. Try that on your own with your mics muted. No es. So there's no break here between the O and the E. And you can try it right here as well. The de and the oro. Okay, de oro. De oro. So if you're saying this sentence, it would be no es de oro. All right, got it, guys? All right, so we're talking about intonation. Intonation is important. Besides pronouncing each word correctly, you need to read as fluently as possible. Expression is important too. Look out for cognates, like we said earlier on, those words so that they don't trick you. So for example, in this case, geografía, which sounds close to its English equivalent geography, or geography, pardon. You make sure that you say it, you pronounce it with the soft G, geografía. All right, and this one is very popular, región. So make sure you don't say something like región. Okay, make sure you say región. Muy bien. And when you get the passage to practice, reread it at least one time at a normal pace before you enter the examination room. And if you feel nervous, take a deep breath. Do what you need to do to calm yourself. I remember interviewing a student and he asked me if he could stand up while I spoke to him because that was his way. And I allowed him to, and voila, he's a Spanish teacher today. What do you know? So do what you need to do to calm yourself. Read at a comfortable and reasonable pace, not too fast, not too slowly. And of course, pay attention to punctuation. When there's a comma, you pause and you drop your voice at a full stop and you make a little pause at a full stop. All right. And if you make an error and correct yourself, you'll not be penalized. And just remember to breathe, guys. All right. All right. Now, in terms of the weighting of the questions, remember that this year, we are not going to be doing the oral situations. We're going to have two things we're doing this year. We are doing the reading passage and we're doing the guided conversation. All right, so those are the marks. Let's see, let's take a look at the one that we're focusing on today. Sorry, is the reading passage. And this is how you're actually graded, guys. All right, this is what your examiner has in front of him or her, okay? Take a screenshot if you don't have this before. And as you prepare for your exam, this is what you need to bear in mind. This is what is used to actually grade you. So look at what is outstanding. All right, excellent pronunciation and fluency and accentuation and stress. And you show that you understand the passage because your phrasing, remember I told you about where you pause, where you stop, and your intonation, your expression, the tone of your voice. That is where you need to head, okay? So that is the rubric. And I know everybody here will get a 10, you know, or at least a very good. So as you prepare, think about the individual things we're listening for, okay?
Ramona?
Miss.
Yes, there.
The screen that you're sharing.
You're not seeing it?
No, I'm seeing just 4 persons, Fantasia. Yeah, I'm not seeing the screen you're talking about.
All right, one moment, please.
From.
One moment. Let me go again. Let me go again. How about now?
It's coming up. It says, right, good. I'm seeing it now.
Okay, students, take a screenshot of that, although we are gonna be sending this to you, okay?
Miss, the oral presentation is how much percent our final grade?
Sorry?
The oral presentation is how much percent of our final grade?
Well, previously it was 33%, and now CXC is now working that out because because the oral situations are no longer there. I am not sure if we have any colleagues here who are external examiners. Who can speak to that, but previously it was 33%, the second highest percentage paper in the exam. But I can guarantee, yes, hello?
Señora, esa es Diana Brown.
Sí, profe, adelante.
Sí, todavía es 33%.
Okay, it continues to be 33%. So guys, look, an exam that lasts 15 minutes. Gracias, señora. An exam that lasts only 15 minutes is worth 33% of your final score. Imagínense. So it's very important that you don't underestimate the power of doing well in this exam, especially in your question and answer, all right? Okay, let's go. All right. Where were we? Oh yes, we were here. Okay, guys. Please tell me if you're able to see this passage.
Yes, miss.
All right, I'm going to ask you to take a picture of this passage because this is what we're going to be working with now. All right, this is what we're going to be working with now. And what I'm going to ask you to do, I'm going to stop sharing my screen, but I'm going to share my audio with you. And you are going to listen as somebody reads this passage. And I want for you, as the person pauses, to just repeat. Have your mics muted. We're going to go through it just one time, and then we are going to go in our breakout rooms for a few minutes for you to practice some more with your facilitators. All right. So I'm going to stop sharing. I hope that you have taken a picture just for a minute. Just take a picture. I'm going to do something and I'm going to return to sharing. But in the meantime, I want for you to practice on your own. Okay? Practiquen, por favor.
Online classes. Tradicionalmente es...
Muchachos, ¿ustedes escuchan bien?
Sí.
Okay, perfecto.
Sí.
Okay, and for those of you who for any reason didn't get to take a screenshot, good listening activity, listen and repeat, all right? Online classes, vamos.
Estamos acostumbrados a la forma clásica de estudiar. Salir de casa e ir a sentarnos con un grupo de compañeros a escuchar a un profesor. Sin embargo, estudiar por Internet está revolucionando la forma de aprender y de adquirir habilidades. La educación en línea tiene ventajas que no tiene la formación tradicional. Las más obvias son la flexibilidad, la seguridad y el ahorro de tiempo y dinero. Existen cursos para todo tipo de personas. Si eres estudiante, puedes especializarte estudiando por Internet temas relacionados con tu carrera. Si eres profesional, puedes adquirir habilidades complementarias sin descuidar tu trabajo. Si eres dueño o gerente de una empresa, puedes aprender nuevas técnicas y estrategias para obtener mejores resultados en tu negocio. El Internet ha demostrado ser el canal perfecto para adquirir conocimiento desde la comodidad de tu casa u oficina.
Okay.
Online classes.
Perdón.
Tradicionalmente,
Okay, muy bien, muchachos. All right, now we just have one more thing to do, and then we're going to go into our breakout sessions. I would like for you to use in the mark scheme, listen to this student or past student, Gabrielle. See how she reads that very same passage. I hope you were practicing a while ago. And just tell us how you'd score, okay? Tell us how you'd score. Was she good, very good, moderate, outstanding? Write your response in the chat. Sorry if you're getting some noise. My neighbors are doing some work next door. So just try to listen carefully and use the mark scheme to grade. Are you seeing my screen?
No. No, miss.
All right. Let me try again. Anything now?
No, miss.
Profesora.
No, señora.
Wow. Okay. Oh, Senor Griffiths, can you please make me the co-host?
Sí,
All right.
un momento.
Oh, wait. Okay, let me go one last time. All right, anything now, guys?
No, miss.
No, señor.
All right, good. Well, guess what? I am going to ask, this is where your listening competencies are gonna come in. So you're gonna listen to this student. I'm gonna ask you to grade her, okay?
Sí.
All right, I gave you back host, but we're not able to hear anything just now.
Okay, so you're not hearing my video.
No, we're not hearing anything.
All right.
Try again. You are now the host, so let's see what happens.
Okay. All right.
Yes, I see him.
Okay, guys, good. All right. Last time. And now too? All right, tell me if you are hearing.
Ahora vamos a continuar con la lectura.
¿Está bien, muchachos? ¿Escuchan? ¿Escuchan?
Sí, señorita.
All right, perfecto.
Sí, señorita.
Por favor.
Tradicionalmente, estamos acostumbrados a la forma clásica de estudiar, salir de casa e ir a sentarnos con un grupo de compañeros a escuchar a un profesor. Sin embargo, estudiar por Internet está revolucionando la forma de aprender y de adquirir habilidades. La educación en línea tiene ventajas que no tiene la formación tradicional. Las más obvias son la flexibilidad, la seguridad y el ahorro de tiempo y dinero. Existen cursos para todo tipo de personas. Si eres estudiante, puedes especializarte estudiando por Internet, temas relacionados con tu carrera. Si eres profesional, puedes adquirir habilidades complementarias sin descuidar tu trabajo. Si eres dueño o gerente de una empresa, puedes aprender nuevas técnicas y estrategias para obtener mejores resultados en tu negocio. El Internet ha demostrado ser el canal perfecto para adquirir conocimiento desde la comodidad de tu casa u oficina.
Gracias. Bien hecho, Gabriel.
Gracias.
Okay, muchachos. Now, I'm not sure how many of you placed in the chat where you would place a student. I'm seeing some. Prophet Belferon, can you help us out with what's going on here? in the chat?
I'm seeing mostly 10, a 9 or 10, outstanding 10, a 7 to 8, but it's mostly 10.
She is in the outstanding range. She had a few bumps here and there, but she was fine. And that's the thing, guys. When you read, what your examiner is going to do first, you see, is put you in a range. He or she will not just come up with a number. They're going to place you in a range, all right? Whether you're moderate, whether you're good, whether you're outstanding, and so on. And then after that, then a number will be assigned within that range. So just try to stay above water, right? You know that underground. Yes.
Sorry to interrupt. I would just like for the persons who put who graded for 7 and 8 to give us the reason. Why did you give this person between the range of 7 and 8? We want to know what is your thoughts.
Thank you,
Miss. I wish there was more enthusiasm when she was reading. That was it.
Oh, so you're looking at expression?
Yes, miss.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes expression affects intonation. Okay. That's the okay. Thank you. Anybody else? Good question, Profe. Anybody else? Brianna, go ahead.
Miss, I think that she's okay, Miss. She's not a native speaker, so you're not going to expect perfection from her, Miss, but she's okay.
All right. Where did you place her? What bracket?
It's a 9 to 10.
Okay, a 9 to 10. All right. Thank you. All right. Excellent, guys. So now, a ustedes les toca. It is your turn. All right. So we're going to go in our breakout rooms. Please take a picture of this passage because you're going to practice it for 1.5 hours with your facilitator in your rooms. Lane, I see your hand is up. Do you have a question? Guys, I'm going to move on to the next slide. Make sure you take a picture of this. Saquen una foto.
Yes, Miss. Based on the reading a while ago, how much would you have given her?
That reading is in outstanding, but it's not a 10. She's at a 9.
Okay, Miss.
I realized I didn't tell you guys. Sorry about that. Yes, I meant to have told you. So I will place her at a 9. I think for me, she's in that category. She's in the outstanding range. All right, here's the other passage about a daily routine.
Miss, I can go back to the other one, please. I didn't take it.
There you go. Let's go quickly, guys. Tomen una foto.
Miss, you gave a 9, but could you give like the reason why she's lacking like the 1 mark?
Okay, so as I was saying, there were a few words. I think it was estrategias. And also, I think that in terms of her expression, in some cases, she could have been a little bit more expressive and her intonation could have been a little bit better, but she did have outstanding intonation, but not quite, like 100. But let me tell you, there are cases where if you are within the bracket, there are some examiners who would just give you a full 10 because, guys, let me explain something to you. I think it was a student who was saying it. A full 10 doesn't mean that, oh, you are flawless. It means that based on the nature of the errors, based on the nature of the mishaps, then you can still get a full score. All right. I'm not sure if I've answered your question clearly. Please let me know.
Yes, Miss, I understand what you're saying.
Okay, all right. Are we at our third passage about shopping now? Yes. So this is the one about shopping. And we only have 3 passages. This is the one about daily routine. All right. And then that's it. So I want to know before we go into our rooms, if you have any more questions.
Miss, could you please turn to the next slide, like the previous slide?
All right, so we are running way behind time. So for our breakout rooms, for our facilitators who are here, you're going to just work with them for half an hour. And then we're going to come back in the main room. And Mr. Griffiths, I'm now making you host so you can do the breakout sessions.
Okay.
Now, before you're divided into a group, muchachos, we can talk until then, but I would really advise you, if you can practice, choose one of those passages. I mean, you know, in the exam, you won't have a choice. You just receive a passage to practice. But in this case, we want for you to just practice, choose one that is interesting to you, and practice until you are in your room with your facilitator. Okay, facilitators, thank you for your patience. Gracias por su paciencia. All right, in the meantime, guys, until we're in our rooms, I'm going to just have you listen again to the first passage. Was that
Before you go, Miss, I wanted to add to what you were saying. Like, relax, read at your own pace, and look out for tricky. They're gonna be tricky. Like, I've seen where they put 2 L's in the middle of a word. It doesn't matter if the 2 L's are in the middle of a word or at the beginning. It's 2 L's, and we have to treat them as how I tell my students that they are married, and so they produce one sound. The same thing with the CH. So if you look out for those tricky words, they won't get you. One of the things that Ms. Hamilton said that we have to look out for is the fact that they're gonna try and get to you with English words, regular, similar, educación. Like, my students have a great issue with education. It has all of the vowels, and remember, the vowels have their sound in Spanish, and at all times they have that sound. So we just have to look out for those things, and we know the rules going into the exam. So don't be nervous. Go back to being in your little corner, practicing for yourself, and execute that in front of the marker or the interviewer. For the most part, we are not hard on you guys. You realize that, Miss, and the teachers here will agree with me. You realize that the students mark harder than how we would mark.
Absolutely.
She did well, and you guys are giving her 7. And she did well. You didn't hear her stumbling, like fighting for words, or she had to go back and correct an entire sentence. She did none of those things, and you gave her 7. So we don't mark so hard. We are not ogres. So relax, go in there, and take your shot at it.
Yes, I see Aliana Wilson asking if it's possible to move around while answering the questions. Let me tell you, it is left up to the discretion of your examiner. You could, if that is how you're comfortable, you could ask him or her. Just ask. Muy bien, and as a matter of fact, if it is that you feel that maybe that's going to happen and you're going to want to, you could just practice how you'd ask. Like, so how could you even ask a question like that? You know, ¿puedo levantarme, por favor? Profe, ¿puedo levantarme para contestar las preguntas? Or something like that. And listen, man, you must just show off. This is all about showing off, students. You're doing Spanish for at least 3 years now. This is, and some of you 2 years, but you have come a far way. But listen, this is the time for you to just show off, use what you know, and just be yourselves. It is when we are ourselves that we are our best, and that's when we shine the most. Okay, muchachos? Oye, profe Griffiths. Cuando usted esté listo.
Casi, dentro de 2 minutos.
Ok, puedes hacer la subdivisión después. Y entonces, muchachos, I'm not seeing any more questions in the chat. If there are any more questions or comments you guys have before we separate ourselves from each other. And it says, don't be afraid of the examiner. Sharika says, don't be afraid. Professor Johnson Booth says, don't be afraid of the examiner. They were once in your shoes. Can I tell you, I remember my Spanish oral examination, almost like it was yesterday, right? And guess what? Your examiner is a teacher too, you know, who also has students, okay? So just always bear that in mind, okay? I am seeing, I'm not sure which student this is, but I'm seeing a hand up.
Sí, señorita. Buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes. Profesora Martinez. Professor Martinez.
Professor Martinez, sí, from Old Harbor High.
Ok. Sí, profe.
Sí, profe, quiero hacer una pregunta para
bien?
poder transmitir a mis estudiantes y compartir el link, si es posible. Quiero saber cuándo o para cuándo se planifica la próxima clase de este tipo para poder la próxima semana, con mucho más tiempo, comunicar a mis estudiantes y que estén listos. Como es fin de semana, posible tengan otras actividades en plan, pero que se concentren más en esta, que es la prioridad.
Sí, señor. Bueno, mañana vamos a tener la otra sesión, pero tenemos un horario que vamos a finalizar y después compartirlo con ustedes. Ahora, la próxima fecha o la próxima sesión será mañana a las 2 de la tarde.
Oh, muy bien. Muy bien, muchas gracias. Así puedo con mucho más tiempo advertirle a mis estudiantes que estén listos para esa hora.
Ok, muy bien, profe. Gracias.
Sí, muchas gracias a usted.
A usted, señor. Ok, muchachos.
Las salas están listos.
Están listos. Ok, por media hora vamos a practicar. Ok, muchachos? We're going to be practicing for a half an hour. Miss, is there special preference to students who have problem with hearing? I'm not sure, Joanna, I'm not sure what you're asking here, but we are mindful that there are times when you are speaking and we're not hearing you clearly, maybe because you're nervous or maybe because there are some other issues you're having. But the examiner, if he or she is not hearing you clearly, will ask you to raise your voice to speak up. And if there is a problem, you just let your examiner know. All right. And usually, if there are students who have natural issues with hearing or speaking, ahead of time, the examiners are made aware through the school in these particular cases. All right. So I'm not sure if I've answered your question. We're not there to penalize you. If we're not hearing you, we're gonna give you the benefit of the doubt, ask you to speak up. If you're genuinely having a problem, we would either know ahead of time or you would just let us know, okay? Okay, Duanita? Muy bien, de nada. Okay, profe, adelante. Nos vemos, muchachos, en media hora.
De brazo jamás tú te quedes, créele al de arriba, trabaja y no te dejes frustrar, dile adiós al desánimo y la vagancia, esfuérzate con valentía y perseverancia, no hay nada imposible para aquel que cree y verás tu sueño realidad como yo lo logré. Las tormentas de la vida de seguro que vendrán, para todo hay salida y un rayo de sol saldrá, sé fuerte, no te me quites, fuerza del cielo tendrás, cante conmigo y repite, si se puede, ya si se puede, deja que lo malo el viento se lo lleve, que el amor de Dios tu corazón lo lleve, con la ayuda del Creador todo se puede, si se puede, si se puede, deja que lo malo el viento se lo lleve, que el amor de Dios tu corazón lo lleve, con la ayuda del Creador todo se puede. Si se puede, claro que se puede, sé fuerte y lo lograrás. Con fe las cosas suceden, no te me quedes atrás. Comentario negativo, no le preste oído y sin parar sigue hacia adelante. Eso que velas y perseveras, llegará en cualquier instante. Dilo conmigo, si se puede, no te quites, si se puede, vamos por encima, si se puede, claro que sí, si se puede, dilo conmigo, si se puede, no te quites, si se puede, vamos por encima, si se puede, claro.
Our muchachos, in the meantime, please practice your passage, okay? Practiquen la lectura, por favor.
Que sí, si se puede, si se puede, deja que lo malo al viento se lo lleve, que el amor de Dios tu corazón lo llene, con la ayuda del Creador todo se puede, si se puede, si se puede, deja que lo malo al viento se lo lleve. En la vida siempre va a haber.
Muy bien, profesor Ferron, parece que ya estamos en este salón y podemos seguir, profe.
I'm not seeing the link to join. I did not get the message to join.
¿Qué cosa? Oh, sí, parece que no, pero bueno, nos quedamos aquí. Entonces, con estos participantes. Entonces, y ya eres co-host. Entonces, hasta que tengamos otra conversación.
Room 1? Which room should I join?
No, lo que pasa es que quédate aquí. Ok, déjame hablar con Eric para ver lo que está pasando con la subdivisión, ¿ok? ¿Está bien?
Gente que te va a decir que no se puede, pero ¿sabes qué? Escucha, claro que se puede. Ya, Manny Montes, Alex Zurdo, Línea de Fuego, Suelo, el de Troni y los legendarios. Escuché una ocasión de alguien que me decía que si pensaba intentarlo yo jamás lo lograría. Que soñar era de ricos y para qué conexiones tiene, pero yo sé que se puede. Yo miré hacia el futuro y el pasado lo borré. A los que me hicieron daño también los perdoné. Hay un sueño por cumplir y jamás me detendré, porque yo sé que se puede. Sí se puede, sí se puede. Deja que lo malo el viento se lo lleve, que el amor de Dios tu corazón lo lleve. Con la ayuda del Creador todo se puede. Sí se puede, sí se puede. Deja que lo malo al viento se lo lleve, que el amor de Dios tu corazón lo lleve. Con la ayuda del Creador todo se puede. Sí se puede, claro que se puede, y el que diga lo contrario será mejor que se aleje. Cruzado de brazos, jamás tú te quedes. Créele al de arriba, trabaja y no te dejes frustrar. Dile adiós al desánimo y la vagancia. Esfuérzate con valentía y perseverancia. No hay nada imposible para aquel que cree, y verás tu sueño realidad como yo lo logré. Las tormentas de la vida de seguro que vendrán. Para todo hay salida y un rayo de sol saldrá. Sé fuerte, no te me quites, fuerza del cielo tendrás. Canta conmigo y repite, si se puede, ya llegarás. Si se puede, deja que lo malo el viento se lo lleve, que el amor de Dios tu corazón lo lleve. Con la ayuda del Creador todo se puede. Si se puede, si se puede. Deja que lo malo el viento se lo lleve, que el amor de Dios tu corazón lo lleve. Con la ayuda del Creador todo se puede. Sí se puede, claro que se puede. Sé fuerte y lo logro.
Ok, muchachos. Vamos a continuar. As soon as Professor Griffiths makes me a co-host or the host, I will be able to share my screen. However, I did ask some of you to take a screenshot of a passage. So I'm going to ask a student. Ok, quiero que un estudiante lea la lectura que ya escogiste, que ya seleccionaste. Sí, se puede, Justina, claro que sí. So, Justina, you want to go ahead with your passage, love? ¿Quieres leer? ¿Quieres?
Intenta, profe.
Gracias, profe. Ok, en un momento. All right. So sorry, guys. I'm not sure what happened. So sorry about that. Lo siento mucho. I ended up in another breakout room, but we are going to continue. Okay, vamos a continuar. Thank you for your patience. But I know, students, that you were practicing, no?
Sí.
Okay.
Sí.
All of you who said sí, I would like for you, can you see my screen?
Sí, señorita.
Sí.
So, all right. So anyone wants to go first? Just tell me the passage that you chose. We'll project it.
Miss, I choose the online classes.
Online.
Miss, I'll go after her.
All right. Okay, muy bien. All right, so guess what now? In the interest of time, is there anybody else who is going after? Did you choose online classes as well?
No, I choose the one with men and women.
All right, okay. All right, we're gonna look at online classes first. So all those, we're gonna go to shopping afterwards, but all those of you who chose online classes, we're gonna just deal with this one quickly. All right. Listo, who is about to read?
Justina.
Muy bien, sigue, sigue mi querida. Oh, sorry, before you go ahead, guys, please bear this in mind as she reads. All right, vamos.
Okay. Online classes. Online classes. Traditional. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm nervous. Sorry.
I know, and you know you would be nervous because you're like, okay, I'm reading for everybody right now, but that's fine. Listen, take your time, and that first word, it's pretty long, but when you break it up into syllables, it becomes a lot easier. Remember what we were telling you earlier on? So just try that, tradicionalmente.
Okay.
All right. And by the way, if you're reading and you find yourself stumbling on a word, you try the same thing. All right. And if it's still not working out, just continue. Okay. Just continue. All right. And if you self-correct, you're fine. You're not penalized for self-correcting. Just want you guys to know that. Okay. Sigue.
Online classes. Tradicionalmente estamos acostumbrados a la forma clásica de estudiar, salir de casa e ir a sentarnos con un grupo de compañeros a escuchar a un profesor. Sin embargo, estudiar por Internet está revolucionando la forma de aprender y de adquirir habilidades. La educación en línea tiene ventajas que no tiene la formación tradicional. Las más obvias son la flexibilidad, la seguridad y el ahorro de tiempo y dinero. Existen cursos para todo tipo de personas. Si eres estudiante, puedes especializarte estudiando por Internet temas relacionados con tu carrera. Si eres profesional, puedes adquirir habilidades complementarias sin descuidar tu trabajo. Si eres dueño o gerente de una empresa, puedes aprender nuevas técnicas y estrategias para obtener mejores resultados en tu negocio. El Internet ha demostrado ser el canal perfecto para adquirir conocimiento desde la comodidad de tu casa u oficina.
Ok, muchas gracias. Acuérdame de tu nombre, por favor. ¿Cuál es tu nombre? Acuérdame, por favor.
Justina Bryan.
Justina, you are a brave girl, you know. Eres muy valiente, and you did very well. I want to hear from your compañeros here. What you guys thought about the reading? Is there any way you could assist her with the little parts that didn't go well?
Miss question.
Mm-hmm.
Miss, like, is it necessary for you to read it really fast? Like, you're not gonna read slow, however, like you're gonna read not so fast. Miss, like, is something this would you get marked down when you can read slow?
No, what we want for you to do to read at a comfortable pace. All right, we want for you to read at a pace which is not too fast, not too slow. All right, that is very important. Just try not to go too fast for yourself because you can end up with some issues right there. Okay. Brianna, you had something to say?
Oh, Miss, I'm scoring her 9 to 10.
Okay, all right. Can you say why and is there any comments you have to make or anybody else has any comments to make?
Well, Miss, I'm scoring her 9 to 10 because she did well, Miss. But all I could say is that if she can't read that, like I can hear that she's trying to read fast. But like when she read fast, some of the words she mispronounced. But I think she did it extremely well. But I think should go at her pace, at her own pace.
Okay, right. You picked that up. Were there any words that you could assist with in terms of, because you mentioned some words? Can you let us know an example? Can you remember any example?
No, Miss, I cannot remember any.
All right, gracias, Brianna. Any other comments, muchachos? Anybody else wants to make a comment?
Yes, I want to make one.
Sí, profe.
Okay, this is Martha, Ramonia's colleague, and I want to endorse all what she has said about the oral reading. But remember that today we are old, but one day we were young. We also had to do exams.
Sorry, Martha, it is difficult for us to hear. I'm not sure if you're mobile. Well,
okay. Let me see. Better now? Better now?
Mucho mejor. Sí, gracias.
Better now? Okay. Listen, students, today we are old. We were also young. And there was a time when we could do these things and go through the same process like you. Let me concentrate on a combination of words to endorse what Ramonia has been explaining for you to possibly grasp it in a different way, but just to anchor and endorse what has been said. Let us look at the section, end of the first paragraph. La mejor forma de aprender y de adquirir. That combination, adquirir, is going to be a challenge, and you know it. When they give you the paper and they give you some minutes to prepare yourself, by means of this first reading, you are going to be able to understand or to become aware of how many words, if ever, you find challenging. At that particular point in time, you choose speed. And you will say, well, if I have 3 words, if I have 5 words that are challenging, I better take my time to read. So in that way, I will be able to break it better. When you go fast, you may very well be exposing yourself at tumbling, at hesitating, at breaking. By the time you find this word, that is a difficulty. That is one piece of advice. Now, the word adquirir. You need to do repetition by extension, and I'm going to explain what I mean. You have the word adquirir, adquirir, but then you are going to start adding to the right and to the left syllables. And you are going to stretch it until it fits into a sentence. For instance, it says de aprender y de adquirir. I don't have it in front of me because I'm speaking from my phone and I am on the road. I'm trying to get the screen, but I don't have it. So I will say aprender y adquirir. I will start by saying y adquirir, y adquirir, y adquirir, der y adquirir. If you look at what I'm saying, I am growing to the left and I am adding more syllables because until the word flows, you are not reading it properly. I will do the same thing to the right. I will add 1 syllable after adquirir and then 2 more syllables after adquirir. And I will then mingle it in a way that it can fit and you can move.
Entonces,
but
profe,
to answer the question,
la palabra después de adquirir es habilidades. So if you could just
okay, so
show them what you mean here.
I will say adquirir a, adquirir a, adquirir a B, adquirir a B, adquirir habili, adquirir habili, adquirir habilidad, adquirir habilidad, adquirir habilidades. But what is the issue with this word? The syllable that provides a challenge or creates a challenge is at the beginning of the word, not at the end. You do not have a problem with career. You have it with add, which is why I started with the regressive one. So by adding syllables and by practicing it, you are training your speech apparatus and your vocal cords to respond to the stimuli and produce it within the chain of sounds. And that is a piece of advice, especially now that you are studying. Tomorrow, we are going to have far more practice of oral reading, paying attention to things like this to continue what Madame Ramonia Smith-Hamilton started today. Thank you very much, Ramonia and colleagues.
Muchas gracias, Señora Marta Corbett, but those were excellent suggestions. Students, don't you just love that? Don't you just love that strategy? Doesn't it work? I want for you to try it. Very good. I really love it. I really love it too. Yeah, so just to point out some words, look at this spot name. Where is it? Where's the word resultados? Trying to find it. Trying to find the part. Okay, but until we find it. So the word is aquí está. Can you see the cursor, guys? Resultados. So it sounds like results, and it really is saying results. But in English, we have a z, results, and we don't want that to happen as we pronounce the Spanish version of this word, resultados. Okay. Here's another tricky one. They've deliberately put the demostrado here, you know. The internet has shown, has demonstrated, has shown itself, has proven itself to be the channel or the perfect channel, the perfect way. Now look at this to gain or to acquire knowledge. Look at this now. Demostrado sounds close to what English word?
Demonstrate.
Demonstrate.
Yes, so, but do you see any N anywhere in this word? Absolutamente no. So you have to really focus, guys. Look out for those cognates, those words that resemble the English equivalents, okay? Demostrado. And, but I must admit, I must commend our reader, even though she had some issues with fluency because she was trying to go ahead of herself. For the most part, your accentuation and stress was good. You placed the emphasis on the words the right places. All right, so somebody wanted to read about
women and the men shopping. Yes, miss.
All right, men and women shopping. Where are we? Where's that? No, that one. Okay, who likes to shop more, men or women? Women. But anyway, go ahead.
Okay. Who likes to shop more, men or women? Son muchas las investigaciones sobre las compras entre hombres y mujeres. ¿A quién le gusta más ir de compras? Unas mujeres son felices rebuscando entre las colecciones de accesorios y ropa o dándose una vuelta por la sección de calzado. Suelen estar más interesadas en toda la experiencia de ir de compras. Analizan, observan, comparan y regatean antes de tomar una decisión. Al contrario, unos hombres consideran que comprar es más bien una misión. Salen con el objetivo de comprar determinado producto. Entran en la primera tienda que encuentran y compran lo primero que ven. Tan pronto como lo hacen, quieren abandonar rápidamente la tienda. Claro que las cosas están cambiando y ahora los hombres pasan mucho tiempo comprando en línea, donde no tienen que obsesionarse con espacio para aparcar y largas colas para pagar.
Ok, muchas gracias. ¿Quién leyó? ¿Quién fue? A ver, ¿cómo se llama la estudiante que leyó? ¿Cómo te llamas?
Me llamo Brianna.
Ah, Brianna. Ah, sí, gracias, Brianna. Okay, Brianna. Brianna, how do you think you did?
Well, Miss, I made a mistake, but I continued, Miss. Miss, was it too slow?
Actually, no. Actually, no. Let me hear what the others think. What you guys, any comments on Brianna's reading? Buddy has anything to say?
It was great.
Miss, the
Miss, I would
reading-
like.
Okay, one sec. All right, go ahead now. I'm not sure who was speaking, but you can go ahead.
Okay, Miss, the reading was good, but one thing I want to point out where the part that says "a quien le gusta más ir de compras," you can see that there's a question mark there, Miss. When she was reading that part, it didn't really sound like a question; it sounded like a statement.
Excuse me? Yeah, I realized that part. Oh, excuse me. I realized that part. However, I didn't see the upside down question mark at the beginning. So it kind of threw me off. I'm not sure. So that's why I read it like that.
Okay, gracias. Anything else? Let's comment on what we're listening for. Anything else with intonation, fluency, pronunciation?
Miss, I have something. Miss, a couple of words. She didn't pronounce correctly, like sobre, sección, objetivo.
Try that word again.
Wait, I don't.
You guys can see
It's
the
kind of
cursor.
hard to say, but
Okay. You guys can see the cursor, right?
Yes, Miss.
All right. You see what I'm doing, right? Let's go. Let's try it.
Objetivo.
Ah, look at that. You just said the word and you said it correctly. Muy bien. Yes, that's a trouble word, you know. That's a trouble word. Any other, did you see any other trouble words that were showing up themselves? Anybody else? Thank you guys. You're doing well with your feedback. I like the constructive feedback. I love it. All right. So Brianna, I think that your fluency was fairly good. Your fluency was fairly good because you were stumbling on a few words, then that kind of affected your fluency, but your fluency was fairly good. Your intonation was very good. Your intonation was very, very good. Yes?
Can you please repeat my internet? I kind of logged out and then come back in my internet.
Oh, right. I was saying that your fluency was fairly good because you were stumbling on a few words. It affected your fluency. All right. In terms of your intonation was very good. I mean, yes, there was a case with the interrogative tone not being used for the second sentence here, where you see my cursor. Okay, but that's fine. So your intonation was very good. I think your biggest challenge, what I really want you to work on for me, Brianna, is your accentuation and stress. In other words, where on the words should you place the emphasis? I want for you and everybody else, because this is like, guys, let me tell you, this is not something that's easy to get for us as English speakers, okay? Something that we need to work on. Follow the cursor and look at this word, okay? I am going to highlight, ay mi madre. See the controls are, anyway, just follow the cursor, guys, in the interest of time. Look at that word. What does it end with? It ends with an S. Can you remember the rule about words that are where the natural stress is placed?
The natural stress is placed on the second syllable.
It's the second to last syllable. The second to
Yes.
last syllable. When it ends with an S, or when it ends with a vowel, or when it ends with the letter N.
Yeah.
So in this word, guys, are we gonna say compras or are we gonna say compras?
Compras.
We're gonna say compras. The stress is gonna go right here. I mean, the word only has 2 syllables, but you realize that the first syllable is really the second to last syllable. So the same rule applies. Okay. Camille, you have a question?
Miss, I got disconnected. So I was asking if I could be added to a breakout room.
Well, based on the time, love, you are kind of in a breakout room, which is like the main room. So you can just stay with us. All right.
Oh, okay, miss.
All right. So it's compras. The same thing was for this one, the second one. Let's break this word up. Brianna, break this word up in syllables for me, please.
Yes, miss. Analizan.
Okay.
Analizan.
All right. So no, I don't want you to pronounce it yet. Just let us syllabicate the word. Let's break it up into syllables.
You're going to separate the A from the L. It's right here?
Uh-huh. So there's
You're gonna
and then the syllable is going to be where?
Between the and A. No. The A and the L.
Uh-huh. So call the syllable for me. Just pronounce the syllable by itself. N and the A.
Analizan. Analizan.
No, just say the N and the A. This syllable only.
Na.
And this syllable is what? So we're going 2 syllables. Na. What's the next syllable gonna be, guys?
Li.
Very good. Li. All right, now look at that word. What does it end with?
An N.
Right. It ends with an N. And the same rule applies. The same rule applies, okay? What is the second to last syllable here?
Le.
It's the li. So where should the long sound or the stress go? Right here. So this word is pronounced analizan. Analizan. Analizan.
Sí, mi amor. Sí, mi amor.
Yo te veo. It is analizan. Okay? All right. So I want for you to try saying that word. Analizan.
Analizan.
Muy bien. Analizan. So this is where the emphasis is, right on this syllable, not on the san. It's here, analizan. So snap your finger when you get to the syllable that has the stress. Analizan. Analizan. And it's the same thing for this one. See that one, guys? Where's the emphasis gonna be on this one? Right here. Observan. Observan. Okay? Okay, muy bien. All right, so I want for us to, anybody else wants to take a go at this passage? And because I want more people to participate, I'm going to just ask students to take turns reading sentences, all right? Anybody wants to read this passage again? Anybody else chose this passage? Nadie? All right, nobody else chose this passage. All right.
Miss, may I try?
Sure. I'm going to ask you to read the first. I'm going to ask you to read from Son muchas las investigaciones up to calzado, okay? Go ahead, sigue.
Okay, miss. Son muchas las investigaciones sobre las compras entre hombres y mujeres. ¿A quién le gusta más ir de compras? Unas mujeres son felices rebuscando entre las colecciones de accesorios de ropa, dándose una vuelta por la sección de calzado.
Okay, muy bien. That was very, very excellent fluency and intonation. I realized that you corrected yourself with accesorios. Muy bien, guys. This word is a tricky one because remember that the stress is going to be here, accesorios. And I see Lorian also wants to take a go. Go ahead, Lorian.
Miss, should I read the same part as her or continue?
Tell you what, I want for you to finish that paragraph for us, okay?
Suelen estar más interesadas en toda la experiencia de ir de compras. Analizan, observan, comprarán y regatean antes de tomar una decisión.
All right, pronunciation, excellent pronunciation. Fluency, very good fluency. Where you place the stress on the words is what we need to work on, okay? So I want for you to just pay attention to where my cursor is, and as I say the words, just repeat it. And the rest of you who are in the room with your mics muted, I want for you to repeat these words because this is where we're having the challenge. Let me break this word up. How would you break this word up? C-O-M-P-A-R-A-N. Let us syllabicate it. Say the first syllable.
Com.
Second syllable.
Pa.
Where on the word we will stress? Where will be the long sound and the emphasis?
Ah.
Muy bien. Entonces se pronuncia comparan. Comparan. A ver. Escuchen. Suelen estar más interesadas en toda la experiencia de ir de compras. Analizan, observan, comparan y regatean antes de tomar una decisión. All right, so I'm going to give you a second to just try that on your own, okay? Somebody can go ahead and try that last sentence for me. Go ahead, adelante.
Miss, can I do it again?
Go ahead.
Suelen estar más interesadas en toda experiencia y de compras. Analizan, observan, comparan y regatean antes de tomar una decisión.
Okay, gracias. Muy bien intentado. All right. Now, we are going to just go one last one because our half an hour is up and our breakout sessions will soon be expired. Is there anybody else who would like to try this passage or another one?
Let's see another one, Miss.
Vamos a ver. ¿Esta? Yes. Can we try this one, guys? Because we haven't seen this one as yet. Okay,
Yes,
the
miss.
importance of a daily routine. I hope that you looked at it and you tried to at least get like a general understanding of what it is saying. All right, so who would like to go first? Would like to try? Let's see if anybody can try the first two sentences for us.
Miss, can I try?
Sí.
I mean, the importance of a daily routine. Una rutina diaria es de suma importancia en el desarrollo de un niño. La da frontera y dimensión a la vida. Muchos de los niños que han crecido sin una rutina diaria o sin límites a partir de los 3 o los 4 años son difíciles de manejar.
Muchas gracias, mi querida estudiante. Okay, not a bad attempt again. Not a bad attempt again. I want for you, you see when you have your passage practicing, I want for you to just, after you've gone through it completely, as you read each sentence, I need for you to just repeat your sentence. You can break your sentence in 2 and you can repeat a part of it and then you can repeat the next part of it. So you are flowing, all right? Repeat the first part, repeat the second part, and then run one into the other. All right, so, and by the way, guys, this word, desarrollo, wow, you did so well pronouncing this. This is a trouble word, you know, and you just flew over that word like it was nothing. This is a trouble word, you know, and you pronounced it excellently. So I want to commend you specially for that. What I want for you to work on is this word, D-I-A-R-I-A. Guys, where we're gonna place a long sound in this word. Where's the emphasis? How is this word pronounced?
AR.
Diarrhea.
Perfecto. Diarrhea. Look at it. D. It ends with a vowel. So the stress has to go right here, the long sound. Diarrhea. Okay? Diarrhea. So I want for you to work on this word now. Interestingly, that the word for difficult gave you some problems. You know, it was a difficult word. Okay? But this word, it has the written accent or the written tilde. It has a tilde over the I, so you know straight up which letter you're gonna have emphasize or put a long sound on, which is, how do we pronounce this word? Anybody wants to take a go at it for me?
Difíciles.
Perfecto, difíciles. Okay, difíciles. All right, now, guys, I'm going to ask for you because I am the main host, so I'm going to end the breakout rooms. But in the meantime, what I want for you to do, I know you'd have taken a screenshot or a picture of these passages. Just continue to practice until everybody else comes back in the main room. Any questions before we leave? ¿Alguna pregunta? ¿Alguna duda?
No.
Okay. All right, muchachos. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen and I want for you to just keep practicing until we come back into the main room. Muy bien?
Lograrás, con fe las cosas suceden, no te me quedes atrás. Comentario negativo, no le preste oído y sin parar sigue hacia adelante. Eso que velas y perseveras, llegará en cualquier instante. Dilo conmigo, sí se puede. No te quites, sí se puede. Vamos por encima, sí se puede. Claro que sí, sí se puede. Dilo conmigo, sí se puede. No te quites, sí se puede. Vamos por encima, sí se puede. Claro que sí, sí se puede. Sí se puede. Deja que lo malo al viento se lo lleve. Que el amor de Dios tu corazón lo llene. Con la ayuda del Creador todo se puede. Sí se puede. Sí se puede. Deja que lo malo al viento se lo lleve. Que el amor de Dios tu corazón lo llene. Con la ayuda del Creador todo se puede. En la vida siempre va a haber gente que te va a decir que no se puede. Pero ¿sabes qué? Escucha, claro que se puede. Ya, Manny Montes, Alex Zurdo, Línea de Fuego, Suelo, Caldetronic y los legendarios.